Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcel's streaming right now, I think, too, but I just went ahead and went live. My wife's about to go to the gym, and we are watching Division 2, Tom Clancy. Need some help with that?
Bury you. Serious trauma detected. Agent killed.
Sorry, everybody. I went to help my wife put the baby in the crib because she's now going to go to the gym. And I am waiting to eat meal 2. What's up, Brad? You got a shirt on?
Yeah.
Come on, sit down. What's up?
I was gelling my hair. Gelling. That sounds so weird. Gelling. I just think you should stream my. Hold on, can I have this? Okay. I just think you should stream my Breakpoint because I tried over and over again. It was so hard. It was just like
This is Mom's Division from last night. We didn't go live, so we're playing it now. All right, what's going on here? Boom, come on. Boom. Yeah, so the thing about this game is that it's heavy intensity. It's high intensity. So it's constant firefights, constant on defending yourself. It's not quite like Ghost Recon where you can go hang out in the woods for an hour. Ghost Recon is the Grand Theft Auto of shooter games, where you can do everything but the missions all day long. I think so. I should change this to Witch Doctor and Dean. Edit name. Where is that? Edit name. Witch Doctor. What should your nickname gamer name be?
What?
What do you want your gamer name to be? Mine's Witch Doctor.
I don't know.
You gonna think about it?
The fan guy? No.
You gotta think of a name. Or you could do Snake.
Do Snake.
That's because that's your name on your channel. Yeah, so on the Snake channel, guys, the one we're sharing right now, that's actually his name. So
yeah.
Here we go.
It's mine.
We should switch spots, but it's okay. They know who I am.
There's already 27 people watching.
I know. Let's go. Come on, Mom. Get him.
Come on.
Oh, all right. Did not get him. Get the banner going. So we got these banners over here. And I have one that says Lady Witch Doctor, The Division 2. But then it kind of messes up our thing. So maybe we can do this. Boom. There we go. That's better. And now we just need a different color. Tyrian purple, of course.
Tyrian purple.
Me and Cameron say that back and forth to each other like all day. Tyrian purple, of course. Cameron's helping me.
It's like
He's a better dude.
it's like a mirror.
That's my boy, Cameron.
It's like a mirror, but everybody in the world that's on YouTube can still see you.
Yeah. We got like 31 people watching. Thanks. Hey guys, if you write something in the comments, we want to know where y'all are from. If y'all are from we're in Texas, USA.
I'm half Syrian.
He is half Syrian. So hey, if anybody from Syria
I've been
is
in 5
watching,
natural disasters, 3 tornadoes, and 2 hurricanes.
well, this tornado was a direct hit
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. So, all right, guys, let's see. Let's change the color here. We have Tyrian purple, of course. Then there's also this cool yellow. I actually kind of like that. Makes me think of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat for some reason. I guess just because that's the coolest yellow thing I think of in my brain. There's the pink one.
Get him.
I actually kind of like this, honestly. I'm gonna leave it. I actually wouldn't mind if it was a little yellower,
Yellower?
but I'm gonna leave it how it is because it's a really good color. The question is, do we do bubble,
Classic.
classic, but then it takes your face away, which we could just bring it down.
I like classic.
Classic. Then there's, hey, we're watching your Division 2. All right, we got minimal, which is kind of cool. That's kind of what, like, I think some of my more, I don't know, it just looks a little cleaner for some people, kind of like that because it's not too colorful. Then there's block, which is what it was.
Yeah.
So you like classic?
Yeah, I like classic a lot.
Okay, cool. All right, what's got? Okay, he's got an armor shield. He's got a shield, like in the Fortnite. They had the shield gun.
Some of you might have
Let's see.
already.
People are commenting. Let's see.
Some of you might have already seen it when I was playing.
Oh, what game are we playing, bro?
And like, they have a shield and you hold it, and then
Kayla
there's a
Mason.
handgun. They shoot like that.
Kayla, we have 1,500 subscribers, but they're from a couple of years of having a couple of different kinds of material. But I've been gaming more now because the religious world that I used to watch, they,
My YouTube channel, Snake, only has 27. And it's been on.
Why do you keep asking me that? Why'd you ask it twice? Yeah, we have 1,500. I don't know if they can hear me. I'm sure they can.
Yeah, they can still hear me. The mic is on.
Yeah, it's cool. They'd rather watch you and this, but about 1,500 anyway. It goes up and down. It depends what we have to watch. Some people have gotten burnt out on the topics I was talking about. I've been streaming more of this stuff and hanging out here with my kids and my family and stuff instead of being up in the office for a few hours. We've covered so much stuff on the channel. There's no real need to keep doing lives with the same material for a while. He doesn't really know what I mean, but anyway, yeah, that's we're doing different stuff now, and we're gonna make some different stuff now. So I don't know if they can hear me or not. I'm sure they can. I see the thing going off when I talk. So.
Yeah.
But look, we went from 1 follower to 31 followers. Let's see if we can do it.
Is that your title?
Yes, this right here is, yeah.
Yeah.
slide down this shaft. I need to adjust how my arm. There we go. My arm's going numb. What's in this box? It's dark. Hard to see.
Would you like some ham?
What do you do?
I don't know.
Oh, your hair.
I'm so worried about it all the time.
It's still drying, so let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna see how it looks on the actual phone. Cool. All right, let's see. Shadow. And then it reheard. It heard the replay of it.
You ready to go?
About to
Mom?
work out.
Can I come with you?
You can if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
You know, the cleaning lady has to been here like 2 days.
Bye, Steve. Love you.
Love you, bud.
See you later.
I'm gonna find you.
Let's see what my boy's up to.
If you can find the kid in the room, he's unvaluable. Do you want to just look at him, just find some I'll do this. Great, I'll just take this like
Let's see what we got going on. All right, so let's see what we got going on. I'm watching Impractical Jokers. But yeah, so baby girl and my little boy went to the gym. Let's see. Or my wife, but I call it baby girls. 524, 523. Nope. Let's go see what the hell's going on in the world right now, because that's more entertaining than everything else. My son's been watching this show. I cannot stand it.
You canceled my birthday party for a B+? Actions have consequences. So this.
I guess he does a pretty good job of what he's doing, though. So I can't really hate him that much. And he gets views. I'm not trying to be like a big YouTube channel or nothing. I'm just trying to do something. Why social media keeps you angry and how to break free. I haven't had a YouTube or Instagram or a Facebook. I haven't used it. I have a Facebook that I was using to sell goats, but I stopped. I don't like having it. So it's another distraction. I do a lot of shit in real life instead of just, the apps. I guess the apps show what you're doing in real life, but like, y'all don't care. I show some of that stuff here and there. I'm documenting this whole bodybuilding prep on my phone, and I'll release something later that's like an hour and a half long, but not like every day and all that stuff. And it'll be on just a YouTube, YouTube's different than social media. This motherfucker.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
Yeah, because AI.
That couldn't have sounded.
Let's see where we're at.
It's cold today.
I want to see this thing.
Quite a lot of chips as well, though.
Okay, I have to object. They should not be called chips. That drives me nuts.
Plus dessert.
I would like to try these
It's
though.
basically like it's a lot like a Parmo, but just less cheesy. You know, no Parmesan cheese.
That's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This motherfucker. All right, let's see how fast he's doing this. This is the most replayed part.
Even the cat's laughing at me.
I know he's gonna do it. I just,
No guts, no glory.
and yeah, y'all think you can eat like that? Sometimes when I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding show, I can freaking eat like that big time. But let me be honest. I have seen more women clear more food than men during and after preps with cheat meals. I have seen women body weight to what they put in their freaking face. The average competitor and women can freaking like suitcase goddamn 3 IHOP, plates, an entire pizza and a half with Ben and Jerry's and I'm telling you, I've seen people put away food. If you deplete your glycogen stores and make yourself, starve yourself, fast yourself for a little while, if you practice it a little bit, you probably put some food away, especially in this country. Everything's processed. So,
Hello.
Let's go.
Thank God the salad is not included.
This motherfucker acts like he's not going to order a dessert afterwards. He does every time now. Bro, this guy just like woke up and did it. Oh.
And the schnitzel. Pretty well beaten.
He's done like more than one schnitzel challenge. I guess it's kind of a common thing. I guess it's easy to make and it weighs a lot and they're good. Schnitzels are amazing. For some reason, we had them in the Army at like basic training all the time. It was part of the food menu at basic. This
Official time. 36:20.
36 minutes.
Because of a walking dinner.
Does he not order a dessert?
Came out of the
That dude. I love this show, y'all. That's why it's popping up. I'm gonna show y'all what pops up on my feed. All right, this guy right here, his name is Steve.
I think it's good.
All right, this dude, Steve Harvelias, I gotta shout him out. He doesn't do the religion thing. He doesn't touch that. He doesn't touch politics. He touches fitness industry. I know a lot of my agnostic friends, my religious group of people that I kind of came into YouTube with, they're not always into it, but I mean, y'all all do different shit too. And let's say you watch other channels, or even my show. If I had Tiger Shark and Chase on here every single day and it was the same topic, I mean, would you really watch it still? Or show some other shit, show some other shit, fine, whatever.
Many men.
This guy, when I was doing security for politicians on the road, I stopped by this guy's gym and he was super cool dude. And I just found out he had a YouTube channel and he's got like, a growing, like a 2,000. He's starting to pick up, because what he does is it's a niche thing. He buys really specialized gym equipment and I don't know how to describe it. He buys and sells gym equipment pretty much.
And women both have come to talk to us that have way too much time on their hands, and that way too much time turns into bad things, bad habits, laziness, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, whatever, because you have entirely too much time. Stephen,
too much time to yourself. When you are not focused and maybe you're going through a slump and you have too much time to yourself, just without being too cruel. I like the art of doing nothing. Okay. What was that movie? Eat, Pray, Love or whatever. Something like that. Julia Roberts. It was a book based on a true story. The Italians and the Romans, they had sort of an art form of learning how to relax, which I'd say that my family did not know how to do very well growing up. And I have this very militarized personality. And I constantly struggle on telling myself to cool down, like to learn how to not do something for a little bit. But my problem is I can never stop doing stuff, you know. It's hard to describe. Or I keep myself distracted, because if I'm too bored for too long, I could see anybody getting into a mix with some bad people or whatever, you know.
It needs to stay busy. We would not do good sitting at home all day long doing nothing. There's no way you're busier than me. So don't play like you can't get a workout in, or you can't cook a 5-minute meal, or
It's tough, man. You see his wife driving and he's eating. That's the kind of shit that you do when, you know, when my wife had a bodybuilding show, I drove the whole way. That way she could eat whenever she wanted to. She could sleep whenever she wanted to. And then when it's my show, it's her turn to help, you know.
you can't do this. Busy is good. I've seen many men.
And she does cook food, and I cook food for her too. Constant back and forth, you know. Whoever's in front of the stove and we got a free second, you know, it's 2 pounds of turkey, chop it up, you know. I was milking a cow with this motion. I was jerking my buddy off. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, God damn. Okay, yeah, I'll do this one. All right, guys. So this is Brent Swanson, and he has a wife, I believe, named Autumn. Now, Brent and I knew who each other were 10 years ago when I was in the scene. Brent absolutely would know who I am if somebody gave him 3-sentence description of the things where he would know me from. And his wife, Autumn, are both IFBB pros. I'm not exactly sure. I think she's figure, maybe women's physique, probably women's physique. She's all buff. And she kind of looks like that. I think I see her. I'm listening for my little boy. Sorry. He's in the crib. If he wakes up, I am done.
And at the professional level, that intensity only increases. This
guy talking is my boy Dan Drescher with Muscle and Strength. He is the videographer. He used to work for them in Columbia, South Carolina.
And Olympia qualifications online. I met up with Brent and Autumn Swanson, an American bodybuilding couple.
Brent and Autumn.
Pour nearly all their remaining energy outside of their.
I'll have you know that I don't really look like this guy when I am. This guy's a big dude, and he's got a different shape.
Full-time careers into pursuing success on the IFBB Pro stage in Mexico City. We've seen the challenges.
I don't have an opinion on the physique, but he is shredded usually. So he usually meets all the criteria to do pretty good, and that's why he's famous. So. And her too.
Athletes face when competing in the U.S. But what happens when they take their prep to other countries? Today we get an inside look at how one of America's most muscular couples spends their final days leading up to the 2025 Mexico Pro. This is Pro Bodybuilding behind the scenes.
You know, I didn't know that they did this. I didn't know that they did Mexico City. So I'm actually kind of excited to watch this. These people are very deep in the sport. Everybody knows who these guys are.
Let me get myself in this movie first before. Well, I saw somebody die today at the airport. Flight was long. After that.
What the fuck? Oh, Dan. What the fuck did you think when he said that?
We got here.
I gotta tag my bro and my dude in this one in the description later.
Took 9 miles, 2 hours, and I have just enough time to make check-ins. We need to drop Autumn off at the check-in, and then me and Dan. It's gonna be.
So they got off the airport, and then she went straight to the check-in, and now she's gonna probably tan after that, and more than likely he's gonna tan and then check in, or vice versa. But they do women, men, women first, whatever. And usually you have enough time where if you are a bodybuilding couple, you know, one person can go and then the other person can be at the hotel kind of getting shit ready, and then other person comes back. You have your room to yourself a couple times because somebody's going to be stuck in a tanning line or whatever like that.
Either a 30-minute drive or a 30-minute walk. So,
No, I think she said it was going to be an hour.
well, I just asked this guy, and he said he would walk. With traffic right now, he said he would walk.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Because he's just like, dude, he's like, with how traffic is here, he said, I'd be walking if you're out
So
there.
we need to walk.
Yeah, so I'm going to get a quick meal, because if I didn't miss check-ins at Hampton Peak, I haven't even looked at myself all day. I could look like complete horse crap. I feel like I look like horse crap. But I started out the day looking.
Well, that's pretty normal. You know, feeling like crap, feeling like horse crap, you know? Yeah. When you're that lean and stuff and you're all flat because you got to carb up still and you still got to actually try to pee out more water. Oh, you suck. Said nothing drastic, but sometimes guys do it a little drastic, and sometimes it does bring a little bit better of a look.
Good. So I know when you peak yourself for a show, you can look like complete dog crap 1 second, and the next second looks spot on. So I know well enough not to freak out. I know well enough I've done a 4-hour plane ride and a 2-hour car ride. So no matter.
That's rough. I used to have to do trips like that and try to bring meals with me, you know, whether it was with the security stuff or if it was just when I was travel coaching. I was kind of doing this thing where I was just constantly on a tour. I was stopping at clients' houses for 2 or 3 days and then stopping at another client's house for 2 or 3 days, this client's house for a week, this client's house for a day, this one for a day, stop by where I was staying for a week, kind of refit, and then go back out again and do it. And when you're on the road all the time, you kind of live out of a laundry basket and grocery bags, and you're cooking at clients' houses and stuff. But you're always on the diet though, because you're not going to blow the diet and cheat in front of everybody.
How I look now, I'm not gonna freak, but I'm just glad that we're here. Everything's in walking distance as far as the show, as far as the grocery store. So we got some food tonight, and then tomorrow it's all getting ready for the show.
I'm sure when he puts gel in his hair, it'll pop, but he could just shave all that off. I don't think it would make much of a difference. He might look shorter. I guess he was a Bert and Ernie. Bert was the tall. I'm getting link to invite.
We're here with
Check-ins
5:15.
Yeah.
We got Autumn here. Like, I guess we just got that fun cut everything close.
So, yeah, I mean, it's different being here because it's also not as many people that rightfully speak. They don't speak English.
No. Like when you go to Cancun or places like that, everything's Americanized.
Yeah.
Which luckily Autumn's fluent, but I'm not. So now without her, I'm just like, I'm like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
But we're in Mexico. Like, you can't expect people to cater to Americans. You know.
Yeah.
Mexico Pro.
The pink one is up the one? Is the purple one first? Okay. Just 1 second.
22.
All right, guys, so we're in City Mark in Santa Fe, which I don't know what they call them here, but like it's like a suburb of Mexico City. Regular ketchup. Honestly, carbs. It's not like we'll have to worry about carbs right now, so we're going to get some regular ketchup, just enough to put on my meals. The thing is, depending on what the body does, it might be a super high day getting into the show, but you got to have options. And you rather have it than.
I bet the avocados there are always good. That's definitely more of a selection than I usually see at the grocery store. But down there in Mexico, I have a lot more. And they're good. They're not fucking hard as hell. Let's see what else we're doing. This is what Dan usually does. He does a lot of the
Speaking of
food
salt,
days.
potato chips. I like spring water before a show. This, I don't know how to pronounce it. That is equivalent to spring water in America. Yeah, something like that. So I'm 11, 12 ounce protein guy, but typically the day before show, 3 to 4 ounces, just because you want digestion to flow through. And this is lowering protein for.
You say 10 or 11 ounces of protein? And then 3 or 4 ounces? For the shows, yeah, you can lower the protein some, but if you lower it too much, protein's responsible for a lot of the water that you're soaking up and stuff too. So, I mean, yeah, you could say 4 ounces, whatever.
It's not going to get in the way of gains. You want carbs for the glycogen. You just want a little bit of protein to keep it moving. So we're going to get this. We're going to get bacon. Bacon's high in sodium. That's a game changer. And a little bit of beef. 2 pounds extra lean ground beef.
I bet the meat down there is fairly affordable.
What do you think, 2 pounds of bacon?
Yeah, that me too. Yeah,
Let me make it 4 pounds then. Senor, make it 4 pounds. 4 pounds. 4 pounds and 2 pounds of bacon. Extra fine lean ground beef. And then bacon. You have bacon? Do you have it already out? 2 pounds? This is so much harder. I have only 4 pounds of beef, and this is like 10 maybe. I just want to be wasteful. 2.2 kilograms. That's it. That's more than enough, but whatever. It is what it is. Gracias. Woo! Mental gymnastics.
What will be really interesting is, so I'm learning continually with monitor system for my diabetes, and it's on my arm, about the size of a penny. So obviously you don't want to see that on stage. Site that's connected to my pump.
Thank you.
What the fuck is he talking about? I would stop paying attention for a second.
Here on my hip. But what's interesting is you have to put it far enough over so I don't want to be shot on the stage. The thing with the glucose monitor system is I have to change this today to this side, and then I have to put this on this side. But I got to put my suit on to make sure. Because I mean, I don't want to show that on stage. You know, you do all this work. I don't want to show all these gadgets to keep me alive that I have to. So it'll be like literally be like a surgeon's touch. Put all this stuff where it is to make sure that you can't see it on stage. So living life as a type.
I didn't know he was type 1. Holy shit.
One diabetic, still competing, you can do it, but you got to think about a lot of just things that you wouldn't think about that you have to do.
His legs are big. It's just his gut's big too.
So what are the poses where you do your heel,
Here.
your toe versus?
I'm going to say something that I've been out of the game for a little bit here. I am going to say something about bodybuilding and whatnot. Some people don't really have like the best genetics in the world, but they still seem to still seem to stay in the sport for a while. A lot of the things that you see that are flaws, you'll never really see them because they're wearing clothes on YouTube and they're on stage hitting a pose with everything perfected. There's she has a better physique than he does, if that makes sense. That's what I'll say. And I mean, he'll tell you all his flaws too. Ain't nobody unrealistic in this sport because you have a bunch of other people telling you what's wrong with you every time you do a show. So it's, you know, it's like you don't not know.
That's it, too normal. Now, left heel down hard. Good. So you see that difference?
How you look from the back matters more than how you look from the front. But the true champion looks good from the front too. So
you're not heel striking yet completely. You're not into it. And then I say right here, heel strike.
Yeah. Well, and I can feel it better. I can connect better.
Yeah, it's just a connection thing.
Is this your spread of food here?
Spreads. My beauty spreads, my hair spreads.
What is it? What is all this?
My
here?
food spreads.
You brought this. This is all you eat.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And then whatever you cook, Chef Dan Boyardee.
It's a lot of packing for a show.
I wish I could. I think I would be useful for some aspect of producing videos. Not sure what it is. I don't know if I'm the guy that should be asking questions. I don't know if I'm the guy who should be in front of the camera doing my thing. I don't think so anymore. I don't know, the person to try to put the whole production together. I feel like I could do a little bit of all that, okay. But Dan here has been making shit for a very long time. Here's him in the reflection right here.
The strategy is to get a little blood moving for a workout, just because I just feel like a little bit of blood flow helps move the carbs, helps just everything do well. A lot of people don't do it. A lot of people do. John Meadows was a big proponent of the day before doing a pump workout. Nothing crazy, like it was real lightweight, just really accentuating the muscles, really flexing during the movements. So just need a little bit of a pump, you know, just see honest to how are you looking with the pump? Are you full? Are you flat? And then, you know, we got 24 hours where you can make adjustments. Are you where you need to be? You know, so I just think it's kind of a good gauge, just see kind of where you're at, make some last minute adjustments, and then go from there.
¿Dónde está?
I forgot. I don't know where they're going. Oh, they're going to pump workout and final adjustments. Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're at a mall. Interesting, outdoor mall. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's America. You got Shake Shack, Lululemons, or Lemons, or Lemons, Lululemons. I'm feeling good. I guess probably should take my shoes off.
Can you hear me? I can. You feel it?
Well, I was being lazy. Are they? Yeah. Yeah.
While continuing to load up on carbs, salt, and fats. What sounded appetizing at first quickly lost its appeal. Force feeding with almost no water takes the enjoyment out of eating pretty fast.
That's true. It sucks when you gotta eat all. Oh, what up, motherfucker? Hey, finally. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
What up? I got double feed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to step by it.
Shit. What's the best one here? Hey, let me make another one. All right. Nah, it's not working.
Yeah.
I'll change this to here. Well, fuck it. No.
Two videos, right?
Well, I actually kind of like this. I'm lying to myself. Let me just cancel this. Cancel the edit. All right. So I'm watching this video.
I've had over 1,000.
The dude's had over 1,000 1,000 goddamn. I can hear myself. There's a double feed, but I can hear 1,000 grams of carbs a day.
It's rough ballpark in my head.
Let's start. Okay, you woke up. You had.
I've had a bevy of muffins, cookies, and hardly any protein, and then I got sick from the altitude sickness, and then I had electrolyte packs. I felt better, and then I had muffins.
I don't know why you go to Mexico to do the show if you got to do all that flying and stuff. Like, I guess you have to. Once you're a pro, you start doing other shows and stuff. But I'd rather just drive. All that flying and everything.
Almond butter, honey on rice cakes. I've had banana. I've had bacon for the sodium. And ever since I now put the sodium back, I'm just getting drier and drier and sucked in more and more. So sodium really at the end is crucial. Depending on what I look like tonight, the last meal, so I want the food good, I might do a burger and fries and might keep it clean.
What do we got? I've been gaining some subscribers lately.
I have no interest in eating this. I mean, for a look. For those the last meal. I want this gallon of water.
Can you drink or no?
Sips. To be honest.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I've been gaining a couple. Like, I think it's just from going live so often, you know. Which, man, I tell you what, I am freaking starving. I've been on my freaking shit lately. I'm about to go get some food.
Next later on.
So yeah, people don't realize the dehydration part sucks.
There are different ways to go about it. I'm kind of on the cusp of not knowing what to do.
It's fat pot.
It's really good.
What up?
I'm about to smoke fat big bong hit. I'm about big bong hit.
I can't understand you. It was just too choppy, the mic.
It's like, yeah, it's how crazy do you want to get with the water protocols is basically the question. And is it needed?
Yeah, I was downloading something. Stop downloading. It probably made it better.
Oh yeah, it is better now.
Yeah, download.
High sodium, high carbs, see what I look like.
Let's see where we're going here.
Let it go. Have fun. Let it go. We're gonna...
So I know the audience is probably gonna just go to town on her face right now. It's usually pretty common for you to have this really, really lean face, like right before the show. It's like, and the the women usually are on some kind of hormones. So obviously,
she looks fine to me, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just see how lean she is in the cheeks. And stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that,
right here
that doesn't bother me personally. I don't know.
Well,
I get why people might not like it, but like,
yeah. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Well, it's a little hard to look at, but it's just temporary. Because once you're in the lights, your crater face kind of goes away because it's being shined straight in. You got makeup on, and they look good by the time they're on stage. It looks right.
While trying to hold their look, it might sound simple, but for athletes, that weight is brutal. Every second feels like an hour.
There she is. So everything that everybody was looking at, it's like once you get them painted up and they got the color on, and they got their face on, they got their hair in and everything, they go in front of that camera and boom, all of that work just to get this shot. And sometimes you'll be a little shaky because you got diuretics in your system, or sometimes it's a little bit of everything. There's a lot of reasons why you'd be shaky. And ultimately, a good bodybuilder or a good, physique competitor, whatever, it's one half is how you look and how you can get real lean and dried up. And then another half of this is how well you can perform on stage and compose yourself in public relations and stuff. So if you have a horrible stage presence and you have a horrible attitude, that'll eat you alive before your physique ever fails you. You know, like your physique won't let you down, but the rest of the sport will forget about you, you know, and not want to entertain you if you're a complete douche canoe. And sometimes that does work a little bit, but it's just got to be done in a way that works right. You know, it's hard to describe. So I was actually thinking that she wasn't going to look this good from right here. This is kind of extreme. Some people didn't know that you could look like this from the back, but that's not bad, man. Yeah, like I said, she's got a better physique than he does, if that makes sense. He's a big guy, but he has, I mean, no offense to Brent, you know, but he's got kind of an ugly body. And there are guys that have ugly bodies, and there's guys that have really pretty bodies, you know, and same with girls. There's girls with ugly ass bodies. They might have pretty faces, they might not. And then you have women who have better looking bodies, and then the face can be good or bad, depending on how bad the drugs were, genetics, plastic surgeries. You know, sometimes women have big noses because they'll have already a big nose and they get on gear, and then the nose just gets bigger, and they want to chop that off, you know, and their foreheads, their hair thins out, all this stuff that you're battling just to get here. Here, I'll back up a second. This side tricep's not bad. You see, like they're shaking, but if you freeze it, the pick's great. She could have probably ate a little bit more.
She's hard. Yeah. She is hard. Yeah. Let's go.
She look good, yeah. Not bad.
During prejudging, Autumn made the first.
Okay. All right. This is the better picture to compare. All right, here we go. I'm not a bodybuilding channel, but like we might as well, right? Let's see. I need to make us a little smaller here. All right. So this girl in the middle, to the left of her, is Natalia Coelho. She's a Brazilian chick. She puts oil in her legs. Now, I don't think Autumn does. But this Natalie girl over here, she does have a better physique than Autumn. But you can get penalized if your legs look like they have a lot of synthol in them or something. This girl to the left of her, I don't know if my mouse is showing, but this girl right here.
Yeah, I can see. You can see it, mouse.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Natalie here, you see right here on her leg, that is oil.
Yeah, it looks. I would have guessed that she had the best physique, but now that you say it's oil, it doesn't look real anymore.
Well, it looks like a freaking cartoon.
Yeah, look at her, look at the. I guess that's her quad. Look at her quad. It's fucking crazy. It looks fake, man.
See, you can't put.
Look at the shape of it compared to look at how the girl on the right. I don't like the way her quad sits on her body.
Well, she's got bumps.
Yeah, whereas the girl with the fake one, it looks like it's drawn on. It's ridiculous. It's wild. That's wild looking. It looks weird, man. That shouldn't be allowed or something. I don't think that should be allowed.
This girl's a little soft, but she's actually probably got one of the better physiques up here. This girl over here's got kind of she's got some square shape.
I can't see her because her head's in the way.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I need to put it somewhere. There we go.
Yeah,
okay.
That's better.
So so this girl over here, her backside's pretty lean too, but she looks good. This is going to place high on points, but it's not like as genetically good as these two shapes.
Yeah.
even though she's got oil in her legs, she does have good
Oh,
a
shit, I
good
forgot
set
what
of
it is.
good set of.
I don't know. I would
genetics.
pick the one. I would pick the one with the like what number? That one there. Your mouse is over. That girl.
Her?
The blue. No, the other one next to her. The other one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Autumn. Yeah, that's the girl in the documentary.
Oh wow. Okay. I would pick her or the last one down. With
I
the
would.
black hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she actually is. She's on point.
But like, I also don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I could just, I don't know. It's just instinct to me. I would pick her or the. I can't really see the black girl either. Black girl kind of.
The black girl just needs to be a little bit leaner, and then she
Yeah.
would take the whole thing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, especially if you're mixed. If you're Hispanic and white, if you're Arabic and white, if you're black and white, whatever mixture, or if you're any two different races, I swear you have better genetics than a purebred. I swear. And I'm sorry, I've been in this freaking meat market for 20 years now. It's like, that's just what I've seen. Pure Hispanics compared to mixed Hispanics, the mixed Hispanic guy is going to win. He's going to have if they're doing the same thing and they're at the same level and whatever. Phil Heath was white and black, and it was the perfect combination of genetics. I'm telling you, it's like but it's almost like you're kneading the dough. So all the things from over here and all the things from over here mixed together makes it better. You know, let's go.
Call out. Standing right. I mean, you didn't move yet.
She was in the middle the whole time, which is good.
I know. I don't know what happened. You guys know.
She's pissing herself right now.
You know what? That would just be like so crazy. Because I don't even know if I want to even do the Olympia.
Yeah, you do. Around 4 p.m., the men's open bodybuilding class finally hit the stage.
He looks pretty. See how his gut's in now a little bit more. He was all bubbled out earlier when he was eating.
The lineup was stacked, just 8 days past the 2025 Olympia.
I think he might have some issue. He's type 1 diabetic, so that could throw off some things. He's got a lot going on. He don't have any glutes. I wouldn't. I love Brent to death. He's such a nice dude. I wouldn't compete no more if I was him.
After waiting for more than 6 hours, Brent did every.
All right, what the fuck? Let's see what we got here. Oh God, I don't think any of them look really good. This guy right here, he looks pretty good, and so does this guy. He might, but he looks like he's kind of angled down. He gets smaller the further down you go. His torso is longer than his whole body. This guy's got kind of soft. He's got huge adductors and no quads. Brent's he's got low insertions on his quads, square legs, no gut left. It's all blown out. He's got pin marks in his quads where he put gear, and his lats, maybe his arms. I don't know. This guy looks a little more balanced all around. He's still kind of got that bowed out gut thing going. This guy, it's like Val Kilmer. He looks like Val Kilmer in that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
He's pulling his shoulders back, making his lats all small. Anyway, yeah, I mean, not much to really say here. None of these guys are that great.
But it just wasn't enough to crack the top 10. He landed in the center of the third call out. Still.
Oh, this is third call out. That makes sense. This guy looks good from the back. He's balanced. He just needs to get leaner. He's too soft right here. And this guy needs different trunks. This guy needs more everything down here. His upper is not that bad. He's older. He's all right. He's got something going on with his conditioning. He's missing some stuff down here. He's lean. He just ain't got no ass. He got no ass. This guy got enough ass for him too. This guy's not bad. He's starting to line up, and he doesn't look that bad from the back, but his legs are so short, his upper body's so long. When he turns forward, he loses all those poses. Let's go.
Managing to show just how impressive that grainy, freaky conditioning can be.
Oh,
After the men's open class wrapped up, the show took a short
I would
break
love to
before
see the
heading straight
top
to
5.
Brent knew there wasn't much more he could do for his own play, so he focused on making sure Autumn had everything she needed to lock in her top 2 spots.
Autumn she's nailing this show.
When Autumn took the stage, her posing routine electrified the crowd, blending classic
Yeah,
bodybuilding
she's
poses
the
with
winner
dynamic
probably.
fitness that highlighted just how functional and fit she really is.
I didn't think she was gonna do all this stuff. That's why I tell all my Gnostic buddies to just date muscle moms. They work out all the time. They don't have time for bullshit. They typically are gamers too. And if they're in the army, you're good. She reminds me of my wife a lot. Kind of, she looks a lot like her.
Bringing her best look to date, Autumn finished second, right behind the reigning world champion. An incredible accomplishment in a stacked lineup.
The experience was great. We got some really great content. We've never done a photo shoot or any filming, videography like right before a show. So that was good. So we got some really good content, you know, because we try not to lose perspective of, you know, because you never know what's going to happen. Clearly, like we all thought Brent looked really great, and Brent didn't get awarded that great, but that's okay. And that's why you do other things to still make this trip worthwhile, because it's not all about your placing. It's a very subjective sport. So just making the most out of all the other opportunities and not just focusing on, you know, your show placing. So
I don't know how to be anybody but me. So the look that I bring is very unique. I have people all the time say you're peeled out of your mind. I mean, Olympians who I compete with today, we're talking.
This is actually my wife from a photo shoot. Let me pause the video. So this was one of her pictures. I think after nationals, after she got her pro card. But you know, people have to really be out there in the community a lot, doing stuff to gain like popularity and stuff. To put yourself out there a lot. And sometimes that's just people don't. If you got a serious career and stuff and like kids and, you know, sometimes you don't really put a lot out there. Then there's other girls that they put a lot of ass cheeks all over the place. You know, and from bodybuilder standpoints, we don't even look at them sexually at all. We look at how big the glute minimus, maximus, and medius are. Like we're looking at how they train to develop that, because in our brains we're training somebody that's also in this division, or my wife is, or who, you know, whatever. Or you're looking at the quad muscles, you're looking at how they train, you're looking at how tall they are. You're measuring them. You're never really like, oh man, I want to sleep with her so bad. Like, I don't even think guys in this sport are really quite like that about it. They are just on a bunch of steroids and want to bang everything anyway. Everything, not just fitness ladies. They're banging fat bitches and stuff, you know.
Guess what? That looks not being rewarded. But then on the one hand, like, I'm happy for Autumn. Like, I'm ecstatic for her. This is the best that she's ever been. So like, it's fine. So I feel like we bring something as a couple, but
you know, the cool thing about these two is that she might be the star of this show. She doesn't have as much of an appearance. How do I say this? Brent is the character funny one. He, I think, kind of carries the couple, and she's kind of the star athlete, and he's the support husband who loves the sport just as much as she does, but he's kind of still doing this so that they have this together, you know, because it can be a really great marriage building thing for you and your significant other to be involved in the same kind of sport. The good thing about bodybuilding, and you got to bear with me here because it's different. There's hormones and there's priorities in your life that can complicate stuff. Women are so damn horny that they're sleeping with dudes because they're never seeing their significant other, and they're both at the gym or whatever the hell so often, or they're so toxic because of the steroids. And then you have the couples that they already get it all because they've been doing it so long. Maybe they're not even doing the chemicals anymore. It's just the going to the gym and the feeling good. Or Marcel, you were saying that you're like feeling better now. You've been working out lately.
Oh yeah, the past few days, yeah, that's pretty.
What all you been
Great.
doing?
Just fucking throw around some kettlebells and shit like that. That's basically
Right.
Yeah. Whenever I go to leave, if I stand up, I basically do something. Every time I stand up.
Well, that's cool.
But it was I did a bit too much the first day because I was fucking way too sore the second day. I couldn't even lift the weight.
Couldn't lift the weight.
Yeah, like the same way I lifted the day before, I lifted it so much the first day that I couldn't even lift it the second day, which was too much.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's being sore, bro.
Yeah, I was so sore I couldn't even lift it. Like a 20-pound dumbbell, like I was curling a 20-pound dumbbell, and I curled it so many times that the next day I couldn't even curl it once.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I have been on point, dude. I've been, let's see, it's been 3 weeks now. Been solid on the diet. I've had some cheat meals or whatever. They're all been planned and worked around the right way. At this point, if you eat clean every single goddamn day and you stay within a certain boundary, you can eat once a week and still lose weight. You can eat freaking Snicker bars every day and still drop weight. It's not like you had, like, I did legs yesterday, but I only had 125 carbs all day, right? Well, one of the things was before I lifted, I ate a Snicker bar and I drank half of a Rip It.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to matter. My caloric intake for the day is at a certain spot. My protein intake's at a certain place, making mTOR cut on, which is ultimately a light switch that says build muscle, which that burns calories. And it also cuts on your metabolism itself. So it's like a double whammy when you're dieting and you're exercising, but you're balancing how much you're doing of each. It's been going really good, man. I wish you were down here because right now, me and you'd be going together every day.
Yeah.
We'll get you a dang passport and we'll get you to come visit because you don't have to take care of a whole lot up there. Obviously you do, you know, because you have your grandparents and stuff that you're looking after and whatnot. But we'll get you down here for like a month just to come hang out and we'll build a PC or something while you're here. And then if you want to move down here in the future, then you just move down or whatever. Too easy.
Yeah, we probably do that.
Yeah, I kind of want to have everybody living close together, because even though a lot of people are busy right now, and eventually there will be more time. Eventually people will be taking time off from work to spend time with the kids, and they'll be free to do some stuff. Those sorts of things will happen. People getting their weekends lined up to do some of the video stuff we want to do and stuff. Yeah, we'll all have that happening. Tiger Shark lives here in Dallas, so he's only an hour and a half away. And Cameron lives here now, and that's enough people to do some stuff with. But whenever somebody comes visit, then we got 4 of us, and then we can really get some stuff done. So let's see what's going on in the YouTube world. I've been showing everybody just like stuff that's popping up on my YouTube and just watching videos, like just for the hell of it. Let's see what we got. I'm scared to click on some of this stuff. He tricked me into buying expensive food. This fake homeless dude tricked me. He bought him expensive food. Oh, this looks cool. Invading the White House, Washington, United States. Realistic gameplay, PS5. Brian Shaw will never learn. What did he do wrong? Is it just he's trying to reinvent the wheel too much? What's the deal? High test versus low test cycles, J3U. Don Fry shows you how to be a man. Don Fry and True Authentics 2 weeks ago. This guy was a UFC champion for a while back in the day. Feeding a hoplite. All right, this looks kind of cool. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go, everyone. Who is this? Leonidas Sparta's channel. Subscribe. Let's get some sound.
Our period of roughly the 5th century BC.
So what we're attempting to portray here is a possible menu, if you will, of what the average hoplite might have eaten. It starts with the cereals. In Greece, they didn't grow their own wheat at that time. They only could really grow barley successfully. It's a much more rugged plant. And so what we have here is barley on display in the various stages of it. So after it's been threshed, the corn has been removed, and then it's been ground. Now, you might be able to get it a little finer than this, but honestly, if you're out in the field and you're relying on small mortars like this, that's probably about as good as you're going to get.
You probably got a lot of rations to make as well for a lot of people.
That's correct. So with this meal, this is probably what you're traveling with. You're probably traveling with it already ground, at least some of it. And then otherwise you're picking up grain along the way. You can already make a pretty nutritious subsistent-based diet off of this. So you could, by simply adding, by taking this barley flour, toasting it briefly, just to essentially bake it, you would then add water and olive oil, and you have maza cake. So maza is this very simple rustic cake. It can be baked right over the fire. It can even be baked on a hot stone by the fire. You might add a little honey to it. If you have that, we have a little honey here that you could have picked up. Beekeeping was very popular and very common in the ancient world, especially in Greece. And perhaps some sesame seeds or something like that. I'm gonna use that. The barley is really not only being used for bread. I mean, it's used for porridge. It can be used in a soup. It could be boiled whole in a sort of pilaf style, if you will. So that's a large portion of your diet right there.
Right. So barley grain, and is it similar to a hardtack that you hear about in later periods? Like how long will this last before it goes moldy or off?
As long as it's in dry conditions, it can last quite a while. But because of the simplicity of putting it together, they're usually baked fresh.
Right, and eaten probably pretty quickly.
Right, and they're very easy to put together. And if the men aren't doing it themselves, obviously their servant or their slave would be doing so.
Yes. Okay, so that's sort of the main grain-based diet. It's not the same style of bread that we would think of. So what other element?
Grain-based diet, not the same kind of bread that we would think of. Yeah, it was a lot grainier back then.
So we might have proteins or fibers that would also accompany this diet.
Right. So veggies, legumes, this sort of thing, including in desiccated state. What we have here are lentils. Very commonly eaten lentils, peas, which is a type of veg. This, all it needs to do is be submerged in water for a period of time or boiled in a couple of hours, and that is a good hearty meal right there. So that, again, here's your base foundation of what's actually filling your stomach. It's not necessarily the most delectable. You can add spices or herbs to it if you can collect those along the way, or if you can bring them with you, but it's what's filling your belly.
Right. And something else I think is interesting, especially, of course, we're told by the Spartans that hunting was a really important part of aristocratic life. So can we be expecting that they would also be hunting on campaigns as well and bringing in other styles of food apart from what they might bring with them?
Yeah, it's certainly possible that you could strike a lucky hunt and supplement some of this food with some fresh meat. You might catch some deer or some rabbit, perhaps some wild game, some birds or poultry of some sort. But generally speaking, meat was actually quite insignificant in comparison to the caloric intake that's coming from other things.
Absolutely.
We have to always remember, of course, the Greeks could only eat the meat if it was ritually slaughtered. Sacrifices were certainly being performed while on campaign, but divvying up that meat amongst many men would probably result in a small amount for each man. So typically, you're not actually getting
This Phrygian cap here is freaking making me die here. Let's see what else do they have.
a piece of meat. It would be wild. Famously, cilantro, and to refuel the army, you can go out to.
Very cool. Very cool. Moving on. What else we got? Living history. Try. What?
Excuse me, sir. Can we have lunch together? What? Can we have lunch together? I will be kosher. We can have a kosher meal together. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to have lunch together? Would you like to have lunch together? Lunch? Would you want to have lunch together, me and you?
I've eaten with Jews before.
Would you like to have lunch together? Hey guys, shalom. You want to have lunch together? Can we have lunch together? Oh, boys, you want to have lunch together? Let's get lunch. I'm buying. We out? I'm buying. We out. It has to be kosher. Shalom, guys. I was wondering if you want to have lunch together. You just spoke English. Excuse me, sir. Want to have lunch together?
You just spoke English.
Would you like to have lunch? Would you like to have lunch together? No? You want to have lunch together? No? Are you not hungry? You want to have dinner instead? I'll buy you coffee. Let's sit down and have some coffee. You want to have lunch together? Because I don't have time. 10 minutes. 10 minutes for lunch. Okay, let's have a slice together. Danny. Nice to meet you. I'm SQ. Can everybody have lunch? Thank you. Shalom, how are you? 3 cheese slices. Kosher pizza. Do you know, as Muslims, we also believe in Moses and his brother Aaron? Can I ask you, why did you decide to have lunch with me?
Because I'm very open to engage with other people.
Do you guys also?
I like him, but he's also not. He's the least orthodox looking, and you know.
So like learning.
Tell your tracks in the chat. Tell your tracks in the chat.
Oh yeah, I haven't even been looking. My bad. What up, Tiger Shark? Yeah, I'll send you my link. Let's see. Let me keep playing.
Experiencing new things? Yes. Danny, so if I offered you a Quran in English, would you take it?
I will take it, but I'm not going to promise you I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I'm going to take it.
You're going to take it? Would you ever try to read it? What about you, Marcos, if I gave you a
If
Quran?
I'm a reader, I'll take books, but I'm not a reader. You can read everything. I just learn.
It's in English. It's a translation. Yeah. In this is also Moshe, right? Moses is in this. Aaron, Abraham.
Freeze in a race. Well, this guy obviously thought, watch this. And there goes the freeze!
Freeze, 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 freeze.
Like people that are like way smaller, or even females, and they post their diet and they're like 60, 70 fats a day. And I'm like, that's more than me.
64 is 64 is
Yeah,
low.
man. Mine is 75 grams a
Jesus
day,
which is low for you.
Yeah, so it's like, but it keeps me hungry. It's the lower the fat intake for my body is always. That's why I've been staying so lean. And so even on my every Saturday I have a cheat meal with my wife, and I take away. So there's 2 beef meals in my plan. They're 90-10 beef. I don't eat those 2 meals, and that gets replaced with a cheat meal, and I have no added fats.
You gotta
in my other
create,
meals I
you gotta
do.
edit
So
the
the
layer
balance
and add
stays.
target charge webcam because I added the stage. And you're muted. Muted.
Shit, I was muted. Okay, I'm making it. Okay, I'm making it.
Yeah, I think if we pick one of the
Yeah.
non-custom ones, I think if we pick this one over here, it'll just bring them in. Oh, shit.
You can't. Sorry, and I got one more camera slot. Camera 3. I'm gonna save this one. Save new layout.
This one looks good.
Boom.
You gotta create a bunch for 3 people now.
There you go. There you go. What up? What's going on, bro? Haven't seen you in a minute.
Oh, I just been busy, but I'm at the second house. I'm at the Houston house at the moment. What are you guys doing?
Watching YouTube while the baby's sleeping, eating food every 2.5 hours, back on a diet, boring stuff.
Are you doing a show or something?
So there's one in December I want to try to do if I look good enough. If I don't look good enough to where I wouldn't embarrass myself completely, then I won't do it. But if I look good enough, where it's like, no, this will work. I got to see what I have left over. I don't think I've lost that much muscle, but it disappears. I'm 39. So, you lose all the body fat again. And sometimes you're like, damn, you're flattening out as you get older or something.
How was your sleep since you had your babies? It get better?
So what we did was I started sleeping on the couch some so that if he woke up, it wouldn't wake me up. And if I woke up, it wouldn't wake him up. And then also if the wife woke up, vice versa, I wouldn't wake her up. So I was sleeping on the couch and that was kind of working. But then I started sleeping in my daughter's room because she's in South Carolina. There's no TV in there. So I've been sleeping insanely good. I feel like I've gained a year back of my life. Yeah.
That's how it is with babies.
Scott was muted. Shit, I used to be muted.
Oh, Marcel's feedback. Yeah. Well, I got to send you one of these headphones, Marcel, because it's all built in. So you just put it in and it cleans it all up. Well, what are you doing down in Houston?
I'm just at the house, man. So I'm still owning this house. It's on the market, but I can afford to keep it. I can afford to keep it if I need to. So it's kind of like our second house. We're just here. Angela visits her family and all that stuff. So we're just hanging out on the weekend. I'm drinking beer, taking care of the yard. I picked a couple big figs today. I got some plants in the yard. I'm gonna take some of that lavender. I got some nice French lavender. I'm gonna take that and do some infuse some honey with lavender.
I've heard of people.
And I got the
using that for some
cacti.
different stuff.
I don't know if I sent the picture to you, but I got San Pedros that are dry now. So powder.
Oh,
that.
nice. I had
Yeah.
3 San Pedro that I lost in a move, kind of.
Anybody,
But,
so I'll say this, if anybody's thinking about it, it's a lot of process because you have to basically cut them, de-prickle them, and then you have to take the thin translucent skin off of them and then dry them if you're going to powder them. Also take the core out. It's a lot of process, but it's natural. It's your own thing. You can buy the powder for a lot cheaper online. It's not that expensive. You can get 100 grams of it for $20 already from people that do it. It's probably saves you a lot of time if you want to go that route. But yeah, I'm gonna do that and probably tincture it later at some point. But yeah, dude, just enjoying the weather. We got some good rain down here, so our plants are going good. I got 8 fig trees in the ground. One's producing figs already. I got some expensive varieties last year that I put in the ground. Figs are there, so Probably next time we come back, they'll have some nice figs on them. But yeah, dude, I've been reading a lot about Marcel sent me a bunch of stuff that he ripped. Marcel's really good at tracking books down, but about ancient like magic and ritual, and so things outside of the PGM. One of them is like all about Christian magic, but dude, there's even stuff in there about like Aristotle. Aristotle used to walk around with a wand, a magician's wand, man. So like people are like, oh, that stuff's hokey dokey. No, they all used to do.
Marcus Aurelius, a lot of pictures of him have that kind of staff looking thing. There's like 3 different wands. And I thought we were kind of onto a little bit more, but then I realized how much they were using that in artwork, and I was like, shit.
No,
it still has the same connection. It's the same connections all around, but
they've actually
not quite
they
as
actually-
3D as I thought.
Other people actually wrote about it. There's actually quotations from that I found that people are putting in their books, writing about it, because like there's this perception, like from Neil and all these other people, that like a lot of these Ammonites are weird people because they're doing all this weird tarot card things. But actually, if you start looking at like the stuff that they read, like it literally says that like these ancient Greek writers will say like, yeah, Aristotle he used to walk around with a wand.
Yeah.
And so like that's where they're getting it from. And so when you hear that, and then also like imagery magic and like vocal magic, where they like bringing things into life, like there's a lot of actual literature on that. So when people like, and I would say that I used to be guilty of it. I used to see that stuff and be like, what are they even talking about? I don't do that stuff, but now I get it. Now I'm like, oh, that's why they do it, because like they actually used to do it. Like it was actually one of the things they used to practice.
Yeah, I knew some Brazilians that did a lot of that kind of stuff. The aunt in the family, she would like purify houses and stuff for people. It's hard to describe, I guess. What was I looking for? I'm in the wrong place. Oh, freaking sore everywhere. No, just chilling, man. I've had freaking people here every damn day since this tornado, and it's like the insurance person's being a bitch, and then the contractors are like being like rushing with the money. And it's like, bro, we don't even really know how half this shit works, man. So I'm trying to ask a lot of. No, they're gonna pay it. Their insurance is gonna pay stuff. But I talked to the guy and I said, look, if y'all go over on any of these jobs, you're making up the difference. And he was like, yeah, it's in the writing. I'm like, okay. I was like, because you keep saying you're charging too much for stuff, you're gonna eat it in the back end. It's like, I would hate for you to keep letting your friends rip you off.
Dude, have you seen insurance costs over the last like 3 years has gone up like almost 3x, man.
Yeah, and what's funny is that you'll only use it once in your whole house's life. One time usually is on average. 2 is unheard of. Unless somebody like gets hurt on your property and tries to get blood out of a rock. Like, oh, your dog scratched me. Aren't you going to try to use your insurance to get me a settlement? Like, what? Like he wanted you to pet him. He just, that's a little dog or something. I've heard of stuff like that, and people are like, what? I'm not wired this way.
Oh, dude, people will look for like cracks. Dude, I've read that lawyers specialize in that, where like they'll have clients that like deliberately look for cracks that are like half an inch too high, and they'll deliberately like fall on it because they know they can get a settlement out of it. Like, one, it's illegal. It's like against city code to have a crack on your sidewalk that high, and if they get hurt on your yard, then yeah, they can sue you.
I've seen like episodes of different shows where like some con artist started doing his thing, and either somebody did or didn't catch on to it. And I swear, if it ever does happen to somebody, more than likely, because everyone's pretty smart, somebody really got you. Somebody really just fooled you, and you didn't see it coming because it just, the way that it happened was not so. It's never like it is in a show. Yeah. Like a con artist will find somebody who's emotionally really fragile, and then they'll build stories in them and stuff like that. And then that'll turn into, more. And then next thing you know, you're sending them $500 or something like that, and you're out of money. I just heard of I had a client one time. She thought she had a boyfriend in Iraq. And then the guy asked for her to send a couple of laptops. And I was like, what? I was like, no. A special forces guy in Iraq does not need you to send him laptops. Where are you sending the laptops? And she goes, well, it's going to Africa. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then a courier's taking it to him. Oh, no. I said, you'll never see him again. She hit up the Match.com profile, and the guy admitted to being a Nigerian con artist and asked if he could have her Match.com profile to con other people with. I was like, this guy don't give a fuck.
No,
But why would you? What are you going to do? He's in Nigeria. Like, you're not going to fly over there.
It's sad because they actually get a lot of those. There's a guy that actually busts those Indian scam centers, call centers a lot. But like, dude, it's sad because he'll go and they'll like old people will be taking $25,000 out of their account to wire to these people, and it's bad, man. I mean, I don't get how you can be somebody that's like, I'm gonna run to the bank and wire somebody I don't know 25 grand. That's insane.
I don't know how it happens. Like, but now
the
these
whole
calls,
thing, man.
the freaking calls. Now like my phone rings 20 times a day. It's just ridiculous. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, who actually picked up the phone and had a conversation with any of these dudes? Like
It's
even
all
old
scams,
people. Like how? Like there's no way they actually fell for it after how many years of this stuff going on? In the beginning, they were getting people a lot, because people weren't used to the technology yet. They weren't used to somebody having your phone number. If somebody was calling you, they had it for a reason, or whatever. And then it slowly caught on that, like, okay, there's different ways. And then they'll find different ways to scam. Like, it's hard to describe. There's a show that I used to watch where the guy would call back the scammers, or he would pretend to be old ladies, and he would actually scam them back in a really like roundabout way. Or he'd irritate them by saying, we need to get you a Google gift card so that you can send me the codes, and then I can redeem the money that way. So he would go and pretend to get the gift cards, and then he would pretend to redeem them himself as an old lady messing up. And the guys would be like, no, freaking out. And it's like, fuck you, dude. You're a freaking
Oh,
card
the
artist.
scam is his name Scammer Payback? The guy with blue hair.
He might now. This was a few years ago.
Yeah, he's cool. He does
and
that.
He would even do videos and stuff.
Yeah, he does live videos where he scams people. Pretty funny. Yeah, I get a lot of calls too, but I don't answer them. If I don't know the number, I just don't answer it. You guys taking any vacations this year?
I'm kind of taking one right now just because the tornado hit. So I've been doing the staycation where I'm probably going to go back into training people and work here in town and not have to drive an hour or work with the security business anymore. And, finding people to work contracts and building up a company. I'm probably honestly just going to train people here in town and slowly build up just a handful of people and just do that.
You should just open up your own gym, dude.
Well, there's a gym in town that's going to take everybody's money right now. And it's a cool dude. He's actually a former Mormon, and he wants to come on the channel so that he can tell his whole story. Because this guy's done really well, but he left the church and he can't stand Mormons now because he feels so fooled by them. He grew up in it. And so I haven't let him tell me the story yet. I'm like, wait till you come on the show, and he wants to do it. He wants to come on.
Was he a regular Mormon, or was he one of those like Reformed Mormons where they had like 10 wives and shit?
Because
there's the regular ones. There's
the
like
monogamous,
LDS.
the one wife ones.
Oh, okay. So the
law-abiding business owner ones, if that makes more sense. Because
that would be crazy if he was one of the other.
Well, that's the thing. We would never have met him. He'd live on some big ass farm somewhere, and he'd have all of his wives living on houses on the farms, and he would be going to and fro every day, and they would never leave the compound.
Bro, I saw a recent documentary with a guy like that, and they arrested him and his wives. But their wives were telling the cops that once the girl, like their kids, turn like 13 or something, that's when they start doing all that. Isn't that insane?
I didn't finish the documentary. I'm gonna have to watch it now. I forgot
It's
what it was
insane,
called.
dude.
It's on Netflix, right?
I think it's on Netflix, but I saw a couple actually on YouTube as well.
Oh, sweet.
And I saw one clip where the guy was actually getting arrested and like his 10 wives were standing there like worried about it a little bit. And then the cop was asking them questions and they were like very honest and open. And they were like, when does he start like, you know, taking you as wives? And the one of the wives were like, when as low as like 13. I was like, what?
Oh no, he had to, huh?
Yeah.
God, I don't like it. I guess there's a little bit of like this cultural relativism when it comes to that, but like you're in America, so you have to pretend you don't live here and that you don't know you have to literally like, you have to North Korea your whole family thing to do something like that, I think, because eventually,
yeah,
these kids are eventually like, I don't know. They say that sometimes the Amish kids that they don't even want to go English, that they come back home to be Amish because they see so much crap, I guess, that maybe that's the thing, you know.
You know,
But
so you ever been to Philly?
I drove through it. No, I haven't been there. I would love
So
to
there's
just
a-
because of the movie, the shows.
I used to live there in Manayunk when I was younger. I used to work for the federal government. And I used to take the train into work every day, right across from the Capitol building in the Wanamaker building. And there's a Macy's on like the first 4 floors, and we were on like the 7th or 8th floor or something. But anyways, there's a terminal there. It's called Reading Terminal. And it's really good food, but they have the Amish that are there. And it's
Oh,
hard not
really?
to talk to them because like we go there for every day for lunch. You want a real cheesesteak or you want like real hand turned ice cream or like a real meatball sandwich, that's where you go to get it. It's like all homemade, you know, by them, the Amish. But yeah, they're pretty cool people. I just think some of them you just look at them, you're like, why? Like, why are you doing this? You know? And you get the impression that it was just like they don't know any other way, and that's the only reason why. There's really no method really behind it other than we were born this way and indoctrinated into this thing.
Let's see, what's it? Amish going English. They've had some different documentaries. Met an amazing Amish family in Ohio. All right, so Amish girls visit English market for the first time. Let's see what we got here.
Have you guys been using the new Caldera Lab, the Great? I have, yes. It's the best product to have. Over 90%
gosh.
of the people in these stuff.
Grandma asked Rosanna and I to get some groceries for the house. I'm excited to see how an English grocery store looks like.
Why do they call it English though? Because it's just not Amish? Because it's in
Yeah,
America, you know? It's just, I always thought it was interesting how they would say that it's going English, and it's like, but it's not really English, it's going American. Like,
Como all this stuff.
I need to change the layout.
If the people back home in the Amish community would see this store, they would just be so amazed. They'd walk in there with their eyes would be really big and they would be so excited.
Yeah, they don't have big stores like this.
There's so much stuff. Rosanna, look. There's cucumbers. Look. They're already cut. Those carrots and celery.
I think that's pretty cool, like how that is.
There's just so stuff.
Yeah.
I can't believe that the English people buy vegetables that are already cut and cleaned. They're wrapped up. They're ready to eat. That is so lazy. Why wouldn't you just do it yourself?
För mig är det väldigt många äppelskrubackningsskor.
Wow, those are expensive.
They look
But
good
it
though.
looks good.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me because back home where I grew up, we make all our own food. Look at this. Holy crap. $5.99. Back home, you could buy eggs for $1.50. It's unreal expensive. I wouldn't want to pay that much for eggs. I'd just get chickens. Hosanna, look at those twigs over there. Look at.
They have such an interesting accent. It's hard to tell where they're from, other than the fact that we already know that they're Amish. You know.
I like what she said though. She's like, I would just get chickens. You know, like they're just so simple, and like sometimes that's the answer. You know.
Well, just for everyday egg eating and stuff, I think the average family can have up to 4 or 5 hens, even in neighborhoods. Even in a typical backyard, you can have 3, and they'll have plenty of grass. If you have 6-foot tall fences, they won't jump them, and there's no roosters to wake you up. And I don't see why you wouldn't. If you could throw old food to them, you don't even have to buy food for them. There's enough food scraped into the trash can every day to feed them things better than any food from their feed stores would have. Feed stores have bullshit like barley and like an egg, and like they have just it's crap, you know. Like the food is just, that's why it's feed, you know, or it's just ground corn or seeds.
And they eat insects and shit, right? Too, out of the ground. Too,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you won't have any ants in your backyard anywhere, but you'll have chicken shit all over your back porch if you don't have the right kind of screened in porch. So as long as you have a screened in porch, you're good. You won't have to worry about chicken shit all over the back porch. And you could build a chicken coop off the side of the house next to the freaking hose. Like you could just build it right off the side. Like it's not a lot of wood. It's $100 worth of crap. And yeah, you'd have eggs. But, you know, some neighborhoods now, the HOAs are like, no chickens, no farm animals at all, not even if it's the females. They have limits on how many dogs you can have sometimes. You know, you can't have over 4 dogs. You can't have over 4 cats, whatever, just to keep people from having these sanctuaries in a neighborhood. You know, I have 40 chickens. I don't even 10 goats right now, you know, but I just have 1 acre. And the thing is the goats, we don't need to do no more. The goats is sort of the goat thing is cool to learn how to do it. We're breeding specialty breed goats. We're starting to charge more for them now, but milking them for the milk, it takes a lot of your time to get good at doing that, because you got to practice with them every day. You got to try to get them up into the thing with the little latch for the head, almost like the freaking guillotine, you know, and you got to milk them. And one of the mamas will let us do it to her. But then you got to deal with, you know, dirty buckets, dirty milk, sanitizing it anyway. But we've done it once, and we've had numerous goats in several rounds of them, so that if we ever had to do it again, we could crank up business, or we could do mini cows and have them actually butchered. You know, when the babies are 3 years old, actually butcher the mini cows, and that will feed my family for a year instead of having a whole cow.
I would see the if you don't have a lot of them, well, considering like compared to like a bigger farm that might have a bunch of them, you might be able to sell the milk to somebody that makes cheese, because goat cheese is expensive.
That would be the thing. My wife really likes that too.
Or just learn how to make it.
That was kind of the plan, but then we had Stevie, and so we kind of pressed pause.
Me and my buddy were gonna make specialty goat cheese, man. We had a big plan to get a bunch of goats and make specialty goat cheese. There's a berry here called bake apples. It's called cloudberries in real life. I don't call them in real life. So we call them bake apples here, but it's called a cloudberry. They're like common in Sweden, I think, or something like that. But we're gonna make cloudberry fucking goat cheese. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah,
that's why you gotta come.
Shit over, motherfucker.
If you come live down here, bro, then we can actually start doing that. But hell yeah, that's why I got them though, because I didn't want to do cows because you need more land, and I didn't want to have more than like an acre while we were having kids and cutting the grass, because you still got to cut the grass even if you have sheep. Although if I had a couple of sheep, they would have killed a lot more of this grass than these goats do. Goats are kind of like picky eaters. They like to eat stuff off of trees and leaves. They don't like to eat grass like that. So they're not like the lawnmower that the sheep is, you know. But the chickens, they do eat all the bugs and frogs. The ducks eat the frogs. But we get at least 18 a day. So we have
Nice.
enough to where we can sell. Like I think we had 10 dozen on the counter the other day. A dozen would be $5 if we just charged
Dude,
them.
that actually for somebody like you and your wife that work out so much, like that saves you a shit ton of money, I bet.
It does, yeah. Well, because eggs are expensive now, and the eggs in the store, you know, they don't have the nutrients that ours do. I mean, we feed ours mealworms, corn, and layer feed. So the eggs that they
But
make
that yolk
are,
is fucking orange as shit, huh?
yeah, very, very much. And it does make a difference. I swear, just 2 a day, like the rest is all egg whites. So I do still buy egg whites. I need to eat something. I need to eat 6 ounces of something. I just don't know what I want.
That's high protein, man. I know on like the bio, like people don't talk about that. I know you do, but the bioavailability of like certain proteins, because there's people like, why don't you just eat vegan foods? Because all those fucking proteins are like not as bioavailable. I mean, soy is, but then the problem with soy is you get all the estrogen with it.
That's true. So there's branched chain amino acids, and then there's essential amino acids. And there's a certain amount of grams of leucine that you need to have to cut on mTOR, which builds muscle. Now, 4 ounces of chicken, you've already got enough pretty much, arguably maybe a little more, but for women, they don't need as much. So, you know, 4 ounces of chicken, you're already pretty much at the leucine level you need. And if you eat that a couple times a day, you're going to build so much more muscle than the vegan who has to have the most complex and expensive diet just to get enough of those essential amino acids and the branched chain amino acids. Not to mention, vegan diets have so much more leftover Roundup and shit in their diets, whereas meat, there isn't any of that in the cow unless the cow's had a bazillion steroids and stuff. Meat actually is, in a way, much healthier for people than vegetables and fruits that are covered in all this glyphosate and shit that you're just eating every day. It's like, yeah, I'll have some.
The
And
fat
also-
alone is way better, yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, yeah, it's so funny when I talk to vegans because I know what they mean. They mean you have the option of being a vegan now. It's like, yeah, but it's still not practical to make soybeans and tofu and stuff. You're gonna kill 1,000 times more animals than when you slaughter one cow.
Or
Because all the
here's
shit in
other
the
side.
ground.
Yeah, there's that, and then yes,
And it's not
So you're
natural
still-
agriculture. So it's very
You're
unnatural.
still killing all of that, and then on top of it, they all have to take a lot of them, the long-term ones, have to take those B vitamin shots because they don't get B12 in their diet at all.
More so, yeah. Because even with meat, I think we're still deficit. But you need all the help you can get.
I
So
take
it's
the
like-
B vitamin, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. I definitely get an energy boost from it.
Yeah,
The
I
B
think
complex.
I think people can get a boost from it for sure. I think people can go their lives with a balanced diet without it, but when they take it, they always feel a boost because it is something that, like, you know, do I have turkey in this? What is this?
Yeah, when I was working, like I got to get back to lifting. I used to lift, but not like you. I wasn't a.
Oh, I lift like a grandma.
No, but you're
Dieting.
more well rounded than I used to be because you used to like do focus on certain muscles and all that stuff. I just do the lifts I like to do, you know, like chest and arms and stuff. I'll still do
Oh, yeah,
squats and
yeah, yeah.
legs,
But like, you're not going to sit there and try to grow your sartorius tendon. Like, yeah, I know.
yeah. No, I never did any of that. I used to do
Lifting's cool.
calves and stuff.
It just takes some time out of your day. It sucks because you got to go do it, you know?
And then you got to eat. Like the other thing is, like I had a friend that was really, really strong, but he was only like 145 pounds, and he just never like he got big and he was muscular for 145 pounds, but he wasn't big. He was still small. But I was trying to get bigger, and my issue wasn't lifting weights or working out. It was actually learning how to eat more. And I think a lot of people are in that mesomorph or whatever they call it body type where they struggle with like eating. And
yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people they just don't want to suffer, and I don't blame them. I mean, even when I first started to do my my little bodybuilder journey, I would still eat different kinds of protein that I eat today, like sausage links and different kinds of protein bars and powders a lot. Like Army guys just kind of eat, like they'll order double cheeseburgers for a meal to get the 40 grams, and then they'll drink a shake, and then they'll, chicken salad, or they kind of just figure it out, but they kind of just use foods they like. And that's what I did in the beginning until I was actually around a bunch of real bodybuilders who just didn't have the patience for that shit. And they were just like, if you pay me to help you, my first coach, he was like, you have to do everything that I say. And he's like, write down everything that you eat. So I wrote down everything that I was eating, and he was taking everything up. He was taking carbs down. The fat levels disappeared. And he was like, good luck trying to eat all the food at once, but you'll be counting the minutes to each meal when it's time to eat. And sure enough, that's how it was. It was, it was like, oh God, 8 ounces of tilapia or 7 ounces of tilapia and sweet potatoes.
I never did that. So when I was doing that diet, just like you, I felt the best, man. Like you cut out the bread. Oh, I felt great, man. My body felt like it was just unclogged. I was very clear, thinking
I haven't
and all
had
that
bread
stuff.
in a minute now.
Yeah, and so I get where you're at. Like your whole body, your lymph system is activated. It's draining fluids easily. Like that's a great place to be. But I was doing a lot of the canned tuna because it was easy. So I just take 2 cans of tuna, mix in fucking mayo, a little relish in that thing, and just eat that thing.
I get those bags, those tuna for 2 bags.
Yep.
And it's like 6.2 ounces. And that just makes, so like if I don't want to sit there and cook a bunch of food, or if I'm starving and it's time to eat, I'll cram one of those in my face, but then I'll start cooking the food that I need to eat later. Because then I can actually
What's your go-to carbohydrate right now?
Okay, so there's a big misconception with rice. Everybody's like, in the bodybuilding world, people are like, fruit's bad and alternate carbs are bad. I can't stand potatoes. So I eat jasmine rice usually as a staple, but I don't eat a lot of carbs because usually if I'm dieting, I have to drop body fat. So I'll have like the first meal, I'm eating 2 packets of grits actually. And it's the funny thing about that is it's usually not something people eat, but it's also something that people don't measure. So with 2 packets, it's 42 grams of carbs. And then I have 2 cups of egg whites. Cooked ends up being a mountain of tasteless bullshit. So if you put it in the cheddar grits with 2 pieces of fake cheese, that's not that bad, but it is the fake shit. It's got a couple of grams of it's got some whey in there, when they make that crap, but it kind of sticks it all together and it makes it very manageable because eating just egg whites by themselves is tough to do. I've done it a lot, but I'd rather find the easiest way. And then I'll either eat like 6 ounces of rice with a different meal, and then I'll try to eat like 1 banana a day just because it's got at least something in it besides just the sugars. It's just like glucose is glucose, whether it's rice or if it's a different source of glucose, it's still glucose. So bananas have 3 different kinds of sugars in them. There's no fat at all. And you can't tell me that 45 grams of carbs from rice versus 45 grams of carbs from like fruit that has fibers in it and stuff like that. There's been this weird paranoia that you can't lose weight or get in shape or even diet with fruit. It's like, yes, you can. You're measuring everything you fucking eat. Like this, people overcomplicate it a lot. I've lost probably 15 pounds in the last 3 weeks. I haven't really weighed, but I can tell.
Like
I only have 100 carbs a day right now.
Only 100. Wow. That's not a lot.
Yeah, because when you're fat like I am right now, you don't need all that. Because I get in 6 to 8 ounces of chicken or beef or turkey or something at a time. And, your body will turn protein into carbs. It won't do this with carbs to protein, but it can turn protein into carbs. There's only 1 molecule different between the 2. They almost look the same on paper and they have the same calories, right? And your body can make more carbs out of the protein, or it'll recruit more energy from the fat on your ass. So that's how dieting works. And so if you just take a lot of them away, then if you fuck up at night and need to like eat a scoop of peanut butter or something, you only had 100 carbs. You're still
Do you
gonna
have
lose
a
weight.
cheat day? Do you have a cheat day like the? I know you maybe not right now,
Yeah.
but like when you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
like cutting so much, but you know, like The Rock made those fucking pancakes on Sundays and shit.
Yes, you benefit from that a lot because, and that's where I tell people dieting can be. The Gnostic crowd would actually be, I think, really into this kind of shit because they're all about plant medicines and DMT and making it and measuring it and growing pot and stuff. And it's like, bro, if you treated your body like the same science experiment that we do with these plants and stuff, you're just using basic fucking Minecraft type foods. It's like, 1 square for protein, 1 square for a vegetable, 1 square for this, eat that every 3 hours, whatever. I totally think it's a sort of I say it's sort of a semi-autistic crowd. So is this, because you have to be a little bit like that to diet like this today. When it's just so easy to just be fat or, eat McDonald's, it's fucking amazing. It's not real food. I fucking love fast food. I'm not going to lie to you. I love that shit. I love anything bad for you. So you have to be a little crazy to diet, even at all. But, if like my blood pressure and stuff was up once I'm above like 250. So I was like, that's got to come down either way. Even competing, I'm not going to weigh that much, even, when I'm my biggest. So I came down.
What's your body fat percentage when you're on the stage?
Probably like 5. I would say people say numbers below that, but that's not counting the visceral fat inside their body. On the outside, it looks like a 3.5, 4. But then on the inside, you have fat. You got fat around your heart. You got fat around the organs, But I don't know. Honestly, I could have been 6. 7, maybe. I've never really measured it because if you just aren't lean enough yet in a picture, then it doesn't really matter what the caliper says. And I had some coaches that were so old school that they just didn't give a shit. It's like, if you do a 4-second negative and then you do a this and that, it's like, they're like, nah, man, lift heavy ass weight. And the biggest dudes always just lift like that. The biggest dudes are always just a dog. And then all those science expert guys, those like Jeff Nippard and stuff, they always trying to overcomplicate. They're trying to make their brain look big because nothing else about them is. And so those kinds of guys just get the worst rap because sometimes they look good, but they're 5'3". Everybody's got muscles when you're 5'3". Like a dwarf, like Wee Man's had a 6-pack and muscles for his whole life until he got fat. So the shorter you are, like my dad's 5'6", he always looked buff, even when he wasn't working out, as long as he wasn't fat, just because his muscles are short and round, So I'm like 5'11", and even I just look like I have muscle, even when I'm just lean, just because of the way that I'm built like a short guy. I'm just taller. So, but everyone's build goes a long way. Like black dudes, I feel like get buff easy. I feel like it's a little easier for them.
I used to be the guy in the gym. I used to be 190, like low weight, but I was eating really healthy, a lot of calories. The only thing I was eating for carbs at that time was probably peanut butter. And dude, I was putting like 5 of those racks on the chest press. The one you sit down on, like 5 45s on each side, like pressing that. And guys would see me because I'm like 190 doing it, and like the bigger dudes would see me doing it, and they're like, "Oh, if he can do it, I can do it." And they go try it, and they wouldn't be able to do it.
I wasn't always super lean. Sorry, I wasn't always super strong. That was never the
strong as shit.
I had a huge chest, but it wasn't from lifting 500 pounds. It was from being able to do 72 push-ups in 2 minutes, weighing 220 pounds.
Yeah, there's a big difference for sure.
Which is like doing a 135 bench press 72 times. My chest builds hypertrophy real easily and grows easily, but it wasn't because I was strong. It was just genetically they want to grow. The way that everything's put together.
Like your body weight at 260 doing a chin up is like you see that, and then like that guy's struggling, he does 10, and I'm like, that's good. And then like a little guy gets up there and he thinks he's killing it, but he's like 140 pounds, and I'm like, dude, get out of here. Like, yeah, you did 50 chin ups in a row, but that ain't shit compared to this dude. He's 260,
Yeah, whether you're in shape or not, if you weigh like over 220, chin-ups are hard. Like
They're hard, yeah.
underhand or overhand, like that's a lot of weight. That's why you
I
start
used
to
to do
sink
the
no matter when you get bigger, you just sink because you just weigh
you do the
more.
assisted. You ever do the assisted ones where they have like the counterweight on them?
Oh yeah, I do those every week because I
Yeah.
do assisted ones like right now because I'm just not as strong. I took so much time off. I'm weak as
I
shit.
used to do, you get the bar and you put it on the floor and then you anchor it on a triangle and then you get that little V piece and you bring it up and that's for your lats, your back. I used to do that lift all the time too. Like, so the bar's like this and then up here you put the weights on it and then you got that little V thing with your two hands that you put under
yeah,
it.
yeah, and you pull up.
Yeah, I used to do that, and I used to do like the pull-ups, the assisted pull-ups at the end, just to really max myself out.
I think guys just have to work out 2 days a week when they're older, just 2 days, one upper body, one lower body, and just try to eat good. And then on the weekend, you can eat whatever you want and drink all the beer you want and literally go right back to just doing 2 workouts a week. I think people can do that for life and be really healthy.
I think
you don't
that's
have
the
to go
minimum.
twice a day. Like, you know, I
'Cause
like
for a
going
man-
more than once a day.
For a man, it's like one, you're kind of boosting your testosterone when you do that. Really, it's your cortisol. People don't really understand that, but like cortisol impacts your fucking testosterone as a man like insanely. But the problem with cortisol tests, and you know this, is if you eat something and then you go get your blood drawn and they do a cortisol test, it's going to be elevated versus like if you didn't eat shit and then they take it. So like it's hard for them to get like an average on it. But doing all the right things, you definitely notice a difference, especially in your stamina. And I started taking those. I showed you, what is it? The testosterone pills, like the Fenric Greek, is it? The
Fenugreek.
Yeah. I started taking that, but dude, I didn't notice a difference. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't notice a difference.
Sometimes it's better for stimulating prolactin, which is good for women breastfeeding. So it's in some male testosterone supplements, but it's highly controversial because they say it does the opposite. Fenugreek. Yeah, it's always been kind of one of those things. Now, what does work, which is an MAOI, Tribulus terrestris, they sell it by itself in 500-gram big old horse pills. 4 grams of Tribulus a day. Not only will you feel better because it's an MAOI, but you'll also absorb anything you take more, such as like cannabis. And it's the same as having it's the same as having a very, very mild form of the same thing that's in ayahuasca, the vine, not the combo, just the Banisteriopsis caapi vine. But it's but not all MAOIs are the same. But it's been known to cause a severe boost in what's up? Severe boost in testosterone, big time. So sometimes guys will just take that when they're natural and they want to still perform well and have the drive. Just take testosterone, just take the Tribulus. And that's all my Gnostic bros out there that don't even do nothing at home could take Tribulus every day. Just even if they're working out at home or not even working out at all, it can just be good for you, to take. But I've had one guy who, I guess because it was making him so randy all the time, him and his wife were trying to make their first baby and they had a miscarriage and he was convinced it was the Tribulus. And I was like, that's not really how that works. But I understand your frustration. But then he was mad because they kept trying without it and he wasn't as amped up as when he was on the Tribulus. And whenever you've been on something and then come off of something, it takes you years to kind of get those sensations back without it. Because it's like if you were addicted to taking like a Cialis. It's like, well, you shot yourself in the foot now. Now your brain's going to say you can never do it without it.
Well,
when you know you're good.
I actually could see why it's actually a stronger release, like a euphoria, because like if your body gets so pent up and you have that release, like I could see that, getting that euphoric release from it as opposed to just not having it.
Yeah.
Because if it
Well-
does work and it pents up your system and you're like really backed up and then you go and you release, like, yeah, it's probably going to be this great feeling. It's like when you take a 22-inch crack, you know, and you're like, oh, that feels great. You know, I got it out of me. It feels amazing.
You didn't know why you were so pissed off that day, and then you took the world's biggest shit, and then you're like, oh, that's why. And then you're like a whole new person. You've already pissed off your family.
You're like, did you
Now
get a haircut today? Nope, I just took a shit today.
it's like you look like you lost years. It's funny, man.
But no,
what's-
there's different MAOIs. I know, like we talked about it before. I got a good paper. There's actually a scientific paper on all the different ones. But in the Greek world specifically, because I know a lot of people talk about that, passion flower is one of them. It's weaker. It's a weaker alternative, but like you can always concentrate them. Like people are like, yeah, but that's a weaker one. You're not gonna feel it. Just concentrate. You know, licorice, even green licorice plant is also an MAOI. If you just concentrate it, you let it sit in alcohol for like 3 months, and like wine even, it's gonna get concentrated.
Yeah, people. Let's see. I need to do a different setup. Passion flower. Here we go. Yeah, everything's got to be concentrated. It seems everything's concentrated. The seeds of strength.
Yeah, look at that crazy thing, huh? What's cool?
Fruit seeds, vine perennial flower seeds.
But that's the one that I've seen actually in Greek murals. Like they talk about, like I've seen them, and like there's even, because you know how people like are, oh, they're like the vine just means grapes for Dionysus. Not at all. Not at all. That means you're not even looking at the ancient literature. The ancient literature said that there was a change at one point to where they started associating Dionysus with the wine, the grape, the vineyard. But prior to that, it was just a vine that was more or less associated with psychedelic activity. So you have to look at things like that. But in their world, passion flowers everywhere. It's an MAOI. They probably knew about it. I know some of them wrote about it. The green licorice plant as well. They wrote about it. Dioscorides, others.
Green
and what they
licorice.
use it for. Yeah, like you have to look at it, and even some of that looks like it's even in some of the murals. To be honest with you, they say it's like a reef, but like if you look at it side by side between green licorice plant versus that, it looks exactly like that, and it's like that makes sense because they're just using an MAOI. They're mixing it with wine. And it's activating whatever else is in there. Canary reedgrass, as we all know, has DMT in it. And I'm not the only person that's hypothesized that. There's actually peer-reviewed papers on other scholars writing about that. So, like when Neil's like, "Well, what do you think the thyrsus is?" It's a pine cone. Some people think it's a pine cone. Some think it's an artichoke. Some think it's canary reedgrass, a Phalaris brachystachys, or another Phalaris species, aquatica, that does have a high amount of DMT in it. And if you mix that with something like a passion flower or a green licorice plant, you're going to basically produce a Greek version of ayahuasca.
Yeah,
And I think they had. I think they had one.
I
think they had a
feeding this
Greek
to
version.
cows.
Yeah, they feed it to cows. That's right. The cows love it.
I was gonna say, I wonder if that could ever contain some of that when they shit, and then they could grow psilocybin out of it.
Okay, do you guys know the Greek story of Glaucus and King Minos in Pasiphae? So for a long time, some of the scholars like Pasiphae wasn't a real person. They literally found murals dedicated to her with a bunch of Greca, like psychedelic artwork all over it. When I say psychedelic artwork, go look at form constants, LSD studies when it was legal, 60s, 70s. They wrote about form constants, which were kind of reoccurring geometric patterns that people saw on LSD. A lot of those same patterns are the Greca or the Greco, whatever you want to call them, in the Greek world, those same patterns. They found murals of Pasiphae, 2nd century, with a bunch of those Greek Greca on them. And so the story anyways is about her son Glaucus, and Glaucus is actually a term still used in taxidermy to actually describe the blue-gray discoloration that you find in a mushroom, a psilocybin mushroom when it bruises, that same blue-gray color. It's also used to describe a psilocybin, not a psilocybin, but a psychedelic cacti, that blue-gray color on a cacti.
Yeah, like the Peruvian torch.
Yes.
San Pedro.
Yes. So if you're talking to somebody that's like actually into that, that botanical, they'll use that terminology. They'll use glaucus to describe the color of that plant.
Oh, okay. That's how they try to describe Rudra's, or not Rudra, but Neil Kant's neck.
So that same color, though, that came from this myth of her son. And Pasiphae had a fascination with bulls, and that's where the Minotaur comes from. That whole labyrinth Minotaur mythos is from her. But she had there's a story about her having an affection for the tricolored dung of the bull. And people interpret that, like Levi Strauss, as being she must have liked the bullshit because it produced psychedelic mushrooms. Why else would it be called the tricolored bullshit? Because shit's just brown one color, so then you add the other two colors, you have the cap and the stem, right? Those three colors.
Yo, let's drink it all.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So there's that whole thing, but there's a lot of literature written on all that stuff and what people's ideas are. Now, I guess where I have contention, like I'm not sitting here saying I believe in all this stuff, but the contention is that when people say things like this don't exist, that's where I'm like, what are you even talking about? Since the last video that you and I were doing, I've had a lot of people on the almond side be really nice, and they're like, yeah, this stuff exists. We know where it is. I've had people on the Neil side say, no, I don't understand. Marcel sent me a bunch of papers. I sent it to them. They've read it, come back, and they go, okay, like I always had faith in you because you were never wrong before about stuff. This is where it is. So that's kind of where we're at. It's not me saying that this stuff happens. I think people take that out of context sometimes. Like when you show a source, people are like, oh, he must think this shit is real. I didn't say anything about being real. I'm just saying that people study this and this is what they're saying. Believe it if you want, believe it if you don't want.
Right.
It's there, you know?
Well, I think we were kind of caught in a crossfire. We were having two different arguments. And I think Gnostic, he's got to make content. He's got to get thousands of views every night that he goes live to keep the money going and stuff. And he was like, did you forget the definition of Neoniskos? And I was like, no, what? We weren't talking about Neoniskos. This was a Pais with the Centurion. He's like, but that's not what he was saying on the other day. And I'm like, this is a whole nother episode on my show.
Exactly. Not only is it a whole other episode, it's a whole different, like, literally,
made a better title.
We're not saying we're believing this stuff. We're just saying that this stuff exists. Like
we're just saying
scholars,
this author claimed this.
Yeah, there's authors that wrote books about it and papers about it. And if you want to believe it,
this author claims the same thing. This author claims the same thing. That's all we've been doing.
That's all we've been doing ever. You and I, you remember the first time we had that? We had a show. It was you, myself, and I think Chase, and then on the other side was Gnostic and Cross Bible. And they were the ones that came in and they were treating it like a debate about the drug stuff. Remember that? And like we were like just looking, like we never had debates. You and I never ever did a live that we were debating something. We were just looking at papers and reading it and sharing our own experiences. And then all of a sudden they show up and it's a debate and we're the Ammonites. Remember that stuff? And but they started acknowledging. But the problem is here's the issue: is that Ammon doesn't need to cite these sources because Greeks or Neil's always like, well, why isn't he just citing the sources? He doesn't need to. He's just drawing the same conclusions that these other scholars are drawing. And there's nothing wrong with that. The guy's well read. He's read these sources. And if you actually go on his, I've been listening to his Discords because it's way better than his YouTubes. His YouTubes are like,
oh, really?
Oh, dude, it's like all fresh stuff. Yeah, it's like way better than the YouTube. The YouTube show now is more or less like I would say more of a concentrated version of his weekly Discord shows. And I've been going on those and listening to him. And he has the sources, dude. And I throw him at AI. I'm like, what does it say? Because I don't read Greek. So I throw it at it. And everything that he's saying that it says, AI says it. And it shows you the source, the guy who interpreted it this way. And where these stories come from. Now, whether these things are real, that's a whole nother thing. You know, the meat man thing, like people are like, that meat man's not real. It's a 2nd century Christian source of Thomas going to India. He converts an Indian woman of a rich Indian man into Christianity. The woman's husband gets mad, kills her, and flays Thomas for doing it. Thomas takes his flayed skin, puts it over the woman, and resurrects her. Like, that's the whole story, and it's a Christian story,
right?
And it's literally in Greek literature. So, like, people are like, he's just making this shit up. No, there's sources for it, and I've saved them all on my own Discord as well, and people can look them up. But like a lot of the stuff, like, is he doing theater? Is everything real? No, it's not. Some of it's obviously theater, right?
Right.
I think, and I'll just say this, and I have no problem with people having contention with this stuff. I think a lot of people don't like Amen because they don't like the topics. It's not really him himself. I think once they get into certain topics, and we don't have to talk about them. We don't have to talk about them, but like, we all get it. Like, once you get to this certain point, people are just like, I'm out of here. And I get it. I'm not going to say that that's a wrong reaction to some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
They want to be friends with more people than just Ammonites. And if you entertain it too hard, you won't be able to become friends with the other big channels out there because they've all protested him to be a non-Ammonite. It's like a no salute area. So like History Valley hangs out with Steve, Cross Bible, and Gnostic, and Myth Vision, and all these channels that are real popular or sharing each other's material. But if you're entertaining any of that stuff without having the same I don't like the guy thing going on, which I can do that all the time, then it's like if someone's trying to be friends with everybody. Or the thing is, I'll sit here and take Gnostic's side, like, for example, just as an example, and me and Gnostic have become friends over time, you know, but I've been on his show twice to talk about a book that I've released, but he doesn't even know I have a book released. He's like, oh, you already released it? I was like, I've come on your show twice and talked about it. I was like, I get it when I start to talk, because I don't talk all the time. He's in the chats and he's not paying attention to what I'm saying. But I was like, yeah, I wasn't coming on your show to talk about a book I'm gonna release. That seems a little pretentious on your show. I would only go on someone else's show after I was done with it. On my show, I'm talking about still doing it because it's my show, you know. I was like, but on your show, I've released 3 books. He had no idea. After two different visits, he didn't know. And I was like, you're asking me if I forgot the definition of Neoniscos, but you don't even know what I am.
Yeah,
like,
I'll just
what
say
I'm doing.
this.
You know?
I know people on both camps, and last night we actually had one of those Neil guys that came on the Amen side, and he was like, he went on the live chat on Discord, and like we just went in there because like that's rare for somebody just to start that. And he started like just attacking people for no reason. He's like, put the sources up. Where's the sources? And then I went in and I wasn't even saying anything. I was on mute just listening. I was like, what's going on in here? And this guy starts attacking me. And a little bit, not too much, but the stuff he was saying was ridiculous. He's like, oh, Tiger Shark. He's like, why don't you get a job, dude? And I'm just like, what? You know, like, what are you even saying? They kicked the guy out. They blocked him, you know, but I'll just to say that you yourself, between camps, between sides, the Lady Babylon side loves you. You might not think that, but a lot of those people actually like. Yeah, dude. They're like, "Where's Witch Doctor at? We like him. He's chill. You know, where's he at? What's he up to?" They'd be asking me that stuff a lot. So
I would never thought.
They always ask me. Oh, I wonder if somebody's. I don't know what those people are doing. They're coming to. They want to. They can. I can. But anyways, yeah, you should. But on the Neil side, a lot of them do attack you because they're just Neil's always saying like grouping you in with people that think that Neoniscos means younger.
No.
and like you said, no, you've never had that position. You've always said it was a younger or an older person.
Well, it's a young man, and that's, you know, that can be puberty, anytime after puberty, technically. Yeah, I can't really argue with the definition or anything. I wasn't ever trying to. But the way that somebody else was telling the story a long time ago was trying to make it look like it was a 7-year-old. So that's where all this investigation came from. And it's the Nia Niskos thing has lasted so long. I can't believe people are still doing it. Like, what do you do?
Well, there is a lot of scholarship on it. Again, we're not going to get into it today, but the papers that I did literally cite, they talk about it, and they talk about it from different angles. So the one that he did, that he later rejected, him and Mandy rejected and said, well, this says 0 to 40. Well, clearly that shows the range. But then also she goes on in another text to say that every quote unquote child was involved in the passion narrative. Passion narrative is Mark 14 and Mark 16. That's what she's talking about. But she's talking about it from a social standpoint, not a ritual one. So I wanted to put that in there to make it easy as a softball. And people can read it how they want. I mean, they don't have to agree with her. Neil could literally read the Gundry stuff and go, I don't agree with her at all. But instead he goes, she didn't say that. She didn't say that at all. She did say that. She calls them all children from the Pice in Matthew to the Nia Niskos in Mark. And she literally calls them children, and why the women are in the tomb at the end, because they're doing women things. And one of those women things are being around kids and taking care of them. She literally calls them little children, and she has a bunch of different verses where she links them together. But like, you don't have to agree with her. I'm not saying I agree with her. I'm just saying
Right,
that's what the
the
texts say.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the whole book Witch Doctor Christianity even was just saying what any of these books talked about. It's all it was. There was a lot of chapters I cut out of that book just because I was like, all right, this is too off topic, like it doesn't have enough specifically to do with the
I'm
stuff.
going to say this, for you to do that is completely fine, because honestly, that side of the academic world there's a lot of literature on it. And so I would think that somebody's more or less going to specialize in that. And that's not something that you specialize in. And I get that. And not a lot of people do. But when Amen draws those conclusions, he's literally drawing the same conclusions as a lot of scholars before him have already drawn. And he's also just taking it another step with the, quote unquote, other things that were in the Greco-Roman world. And he's tying them together. And some of those other scholars have written about the same thing. So again, he doesn't really need to cite them, because people are like, well, where are the sources? He's not citing the sources. He doesn't need to. He's just drawing the same conclusions that they themselves end up drawing. But I would highly recommend, if people are interested in reading that stuff, it's really good literature. Like, you're like, wow, I didn't know they did this stuff. I didn't know that they, for political reasons, for population control, that they even referenced that whole male-male relationship thing. There were actually a lot of people involved. They drew Achilles in one of these relationships, and it was really about population control in some of the city-states. And you can read about it. And a lot of his favorite philosophers, Greek philosophers, they wrote about it too. So for people to say it doesn't exist is kind of insane. And I don't really think it's too much of a fringe argument from Amen once you understand that. And I don't think that even Mandy would say that with the Henderson stuff. The contention that Mandy has with Amen, as far as I understand it, is that with all that stuff. But I would say that the contention that Mandy has, that he's always had, is that Amen's, partially correct, but not really, because Jesus wasn't a real figure. I would say it doesn't really matter if Jesus was real or not, because it doesn't matter. They were still doing it on the ground. These rituals were real.
Yeah,
and they
it's
were
based on
them.
numerous people. It's Tony Montana. It's the latest and greatest superstar of the text world, which was all, everything was so combined back then. It hadn't sectioned off into its itemized stuff. And this story about this, he's the ultimate archetype combination. He's got a little bit of all the gods in his personality and the way that they kind of spin him off. And there's a little hint of Judaism thrown in the whole thing too. It really is almost like they were trying to find a one size fits all thing, because as long as you weren't an Orthodox Jew or Jewish, then you have your religion for that, which is Judaism, right? And there's a couple different denominations of that, and they were always freaking fighting. But then you had everyone else, right? These were the heathens, they're all these atheists almost, and then these different groups ended up having their own names. But by the time Josephus was rolling around to 80 years later or so, I mean, Christianity was on the move. People were crazy about this Jesus guy, you know. And the Tony Montana is a good example because, I mean, is he a bad guy or a good guy? You know, you could say he's kind of a good guy, sort of. I mean, he's killing worse guys than him, but he's drug dealing. But he's sort of like a hero archetype character, though, because people love Scarface. They have the posters on the wall. Like, who would ever have a poster of like Judas? But we have a poster of a guy who sells drugs, and he's, you know, killing other mob drug guys, and his friends are getting killed along the way or whatever. The Tony Montana was never a thing.
Posters of Jesus.
Say what?
I know people who have posters of Jesus, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know lots of people who have posters of Jesus.
Well, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that, like, Tony Montana, friend or foe? Well, there's people have posters of him on their walls. Scarface. You have rappers. You have people that look up to this sort of thing. But he was never a real person. It was just an archetype. He was a combination of all the drug dealers from the 80s wrapped into one. So if you liked any of that stuff, you liked the movie, you know. And so, and I'm not saying that the Bible is sheerly just someone's writing project. I think there was more of an administration behind it. That's why in my books, a bunch of rogue freaking spectralores start writing the thing to control.
Let me ask you, Woodchuck, why do you think because there's a bunch of conflicting stories and there's other people's opinions and everybody has one. But what is yours on why, if Jesus was a real person, let's assume he was, even though I don't think he was, why do you think they killed him? Why do you think the Romans killed him in particular?
Well, the same reason that they were killing every other Jewish rebel. Every other Jewish rebel. They were pretty much making an example out of him. They're like, we'll kill you if you.
Was it because he failed to recognize the Romans as the state? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what a lot of people think.
It's like a combination.
That would make sense, right? If the Romans are going to kill him, it's because he's not bending the knee and saying that the Romans are the state, you know? He was doing his own thing.
I feel like the Jewish clergy was doing a lot of influencing Rome what to do too with these. So if they didn't like somebody, they would pay a kid off to freaking say that he was leading a rebellion. They'd freaking crucify you that day. Like it was so common that it's almost an afterthought. You know, it's so commonly happening. But if you released a book today about something that was happening every day today, it wouldn't be the same. You know, so like back then when they released these books and stuff, like they all know this stuff's happening. But it's the story that they tell along with it, and the divination and the whole, you know, being born of a virgin and having all these God type qualities to him. It's a new comic book, but back then, like we said, it had to be spoken somewhere because they weren't giving copies of these things out to people to take home like they do today. Nobody was knocking on doors and giving you a Book of Mormon. You know, you had to go somewhere to hear this sort of thing. So that's where when Mandy says it's a stage play, he's joking as much as he needs to, but I mean, kind of. I mean, it's being written for someone to read it out loud, which is more of like a monologue. You know, I mean, I think of all the beatnik type artworks and stuff when I think of the old Roman theaters and the old Greek theaters and stuff. They had all kinds of performers, comedians, and trapeze, like gymnastic type things, and shows of strength and athletic events, and then they'd have plays and all this they'd have all this different stuff happening at these theaters. So in my mind, I had to create a guy who had been in an amphitheater getting the crowd to love him and his gladiators, but now he's doing it with words. So Antonius goes from being this what's up? Oh, cool. Antonius goes from being this guy who he got the crowd to roar one time in a fight when he first became an instructor because he was challenged to one, and he fights a guy in the book Antonius, but now he's getting guys to like his champions and stuff, and so his gladiators are making the crowd go crazy and stuff like this, and so he takes this new journey in his life, actually, as an older guy, is getting his sons and his friends to write these stories about what happened to Secundus and Secundus, his friend, but they're leaving their family out of the stories, almost as a way to take the story and change it before the actual story catches wind, and doing damage control along the way. And so there's numerous writers of these books, and that's why all the books are different a little bit, like the letters from Paul and Mark and things like that. So that's my explanation, is that it was people from Roman authority who created this thing as a one-size-fits-all for everybody. But in the beginning, it was for the appeal, not for strictly ruling. So the version of Jesus that we're getting in the Bible is Antonius's version of Jesus, not the real version, or not even Secundus's version. It's the stories he heard from Secundus.
Yeah.
And so it's a secondhand form.
It's an
of
oral
story.
tradition, basically.
Right. So they have to steal stuff from Homer to write new chapters, to do that they're stealing a lot of stuff while they're writing this, things that we've researched to have found to be true. Even that Dionysios scene, they tie into a piece of the Odyssey, and they show line for line how similar it looks.
Isn't it weird how I've always thought it was weird how the Jews claim they killed him first, that they stoned him.
Where's that from? I'm ignorant to that.
That's literally in what is their books that they write?
Oh, their book has that story?
Yes. Also, where they accuse him of being a magician, they accuse Mary of being a whore in the same book. I forget that, or it will come to me. I don't.
Well, I think the Jews thought that he was kind of a grotesque character as well, because that's why they claim that he's boiling in his semen and feces, because he was doing things with those things. That's kind of the impression I always got, was that, like, why would they be saying he's boiling in semen?
Well, it's in the Talmud. It's in the Talmud.
Yeah, I'm like, well, maybe because he was doing all these fucking wiener tricks at his parties. I don't know. I mean, that makes sense to me. If that was the word on the street when all of it was kind of happening, that might have been a very early conclusion from at least one group of people. It would have been the Jews, though. The Jews are the ones that would have been saying the same thing I'm saying. He was doing blood things and semen things, and he's gross.
Once you start reading the magic, you'll start understanding. So, like, magic, people look up, okay, where does the Greek alchemy and the magic and these things come from? The Roman therapeutai? Is there an origin of that, or very similar things? The women that are the witches that bring the Medea, the Hecate, that bring that. You know where that comes from? Have you ever heard of Lewin magic? And I was sending this back to Marcel because I was reading about it.
No,
it was a group that was next to the Hittites to the north.
The Lewin
and the Lewins.
I've heard of that, but I haven't heard of the magic.
Luwian. And how do we know about it? Because the Hittites themselves used to write about it on their own, like, cuneiform and stuff like that, about a lot of the old magic that they had, the Hittite magic coming from them. It was a group that was next to them. But if you go even further, now the Lewin magic, they would do the necromancies and all this rich, resurrection stuff. But it was always the women that did it. And the women is what kind of made it into the Greek mythos later. Right, so you could say that some of that came over from there, but where the Lewin magic came from was more Akkadian, Babylonian stuff. So they got a lot of that from there. And there's different opinions on where some of that stuff came from, but obviously it took on its own form. And so I think that people get wrapped up in this idea of, well, they were doing it first. That doesn't matter. Like, none of that really matters about who did it first, who was the first ones, this is the best. I get the idea, the argument that the Greek language was the best. If you really get into it, I would
Yeah.
concede and say, yeah, it probably is the best based
Yeah.
off of everything else we've
Greek's
seen. Like
pretty
they were
awesome,
doing,
man.
it's pretty cool stuff. But as far as like the magic and all that stuff and the rituals and where that came from, it was a syncretic thing where they were bringing in, you know, different botanicals from different locations, making different compounds, and then making gods out of it. And
Yeah, I think so.
really,
yeah.
that's the thing that changed. But that was kind of the thing that was cool. It was like the language was there to try to explain the rituals and the things that they would see on these, but they didn't give a shit, dude. In certain regions in ancient Greece, some people would say the muse was only 3. Then you'd say some of it was 6. Then some would say 9. But they didn't care. They didn't go to war because somebody said the muse was only 3.
Right.
They didn't give a shit. They just let people do what they were doing as long as they were doing the same thing and being inspired by their own intuition and their own instincts in the ritual process. Now, I don't agree with all of those ritualistic things like you and I talked about. I'm not trying to bring any of that shit back. My whole thing is like, you could just do it in the safety of your own home. You don't got to go outside with a full moon. And I get some people are into that, and I'm not shitting on them. Do what they want to do.
I
I'm not
think
telling
it's
them what to
creative.
do. But I think that if you just like Terrence McKenna always said this, and I agree with him 100%. But when you read more of these like ancient stuff, they're doing the same thing. They're going in caves, right, and doing this stuff. They're going in tombs. There's false doors that they thought they could communicate with the dead in another realm via the psychedelic drugs. But Terrence McKenna was like, just take 5 grams in a fucking dark room. That's the same thing as what they did. It's literally
Yeah, man,
the same thing.
I've done it, man. I've taken
That's
5
it.
grams and sat in a dark room. It's wild. I've done it.
Yeah. You don't need to be in a cave. You can just be in a dark place, you know?
It's wild,
Yeah,
man.
I've
It's
done
a
that.
fucking fun time, man. It's a fun time. Well, it's not fun, but I find fun because I've done it a lot. But yeah, it becomes
And
fun.
it's the
It's
same.
not fun at first.
It's the same
not
thing.
fun
And try to take that and try to explain it via language. And obviously, I think that's where Amin's contention is with Hebrew, is that like if you're having these cool experiences and you're trying to explain it with like 7,000 words or whatever, it's difficult, right? You don't have words to explain this. When right next door, you have a culture that has 300,000 words to explain all this groovy, cool stuff that you see. And maybe it's not perfect, right? You're never going to be able to explain a visual 100% to somebody. But if you can do it a little bit better than the other guy, I get where he's coming from with that a little bit, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's been a minute since I've even had any of them. I need to find the
there's-
right time.
So the thing is like, and we talk about it, but like, I'm also like, because it's part of my culture, like there's plant medicine all around. So when I say there's magic all around, that's what I mean. Some people like literally wild lettuce, right? For example, have you ever heard of wild lettuce?
I have. Wild lettuce.
So
What
it's-
is that though?
So it's, you know, the whole thing with the Mad Hatter?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, henbane?
it's because, no, it's literally wild lettuce. It's literally that's something that you would look at and probably think it's just a weed. It's completely legal. You can buy it off, you know, eBay, Etsy, whatever nowadays for cheap. But people make tinctures out of it with just 90 proof alcohol, 90% alcohol. And they just take the lettuce and they put it in there, but it has compounds that are very similar to like morphine. And they take that and it's just a legal thing. There's a bunch of legal things that you can do that isn't considered illegal, that won't get you in trouble. And I
Right.
think that that's kind of cool because there are a lot of people that talk about that on the Almond Show. And you don't have to smoke marijuana. You don't have to do all this stuff that will get you in trouble in the modern world. And you can still have these, you know, situations. And you'll be, you know, these are addictive things. They're not things that are going to get you in trouble. And that's kind of how I classify drugs anyway. Obviously, cocaine, you know, methamphetamine, fentanyl, all this nasty stuff, right? People getting addicted to it. It's
The
destroying families.
the human concentration stuff is usually not the best.
No, stay away from that. Do natural things, you know, keep it natural, keep it plant-based, keep it therapeutic-based, where you're cutting roots, you know, go back to being one of those people. And just make tinctures if you want. And none of that stuff is illegal. People have been doing it for a long, long time. But there are options out there for that. I try to help people with that because there's people, everyday people that are good people that are just suffering with pain and they don't want to do opioid based drugs that they get from the pharmacy because they get addicted to them, you know?
Yeah.
So you put somebody on like a wild lettuce tincture and they're like, this is great. I feel the same. I don't feel addicted to it. I can stop whenever I need to. It's not expensive. You know, people that make it are great people. They saw you can get a whole like month worth of it for like $15, right? It's not expensive. Helps you sleep, helps people with pain if they have pain. So yeah, there's things like that people can explore. You don't have to be shut out of it completely and then have to go to the pharmaceutical route and get addicted to things like, you know, what do they have? Vicodin and all that weird stuff that they give people.
Oh man, I am scrolling through YouTube. I'm seeing some funny ass shit. Sorry, I'm listening to you. I saw the Amish girl sees the ocean for the first time, and I just started laughing because I was like, "Yeah, probably." You know.
Have you seen? Oh, you want to laugh? Go to the one where it's the Amish kids that are drinking for the first time. They're drinking and smoking cigarettes. That one's pretty funny.
Is it Vice?
I don't know if it's Vice, but it's just like a short clip of them like listening to music in like a barn, drinking beers and stuff. Pretty funny.
That's the Amish kid. Inside the Amish secret world. Oh, that's 25 minutes there. That looks like a pretty good little documentary. You know, we get so caught up with these YouTubes and the constant stimulation that sometimes watching like an old school documentary like brings me back to planet Earth. The Amish kid drinks a Red Bull. Where's the gets drunk? Come on.
Yeah, Planet Earth was a sick documentary, dude. I had it on Blu-ray. Remember the documentary?
What's that?
Called Planet Earth. The documentary called Planet Earth, man. It was really good.
Oh, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, it's really good, man. Documentary. I had it was like the first Blu-ray I ever bought when Blu-rays came out. They got David Attenborough and shit.
Yeah,
It's
this
so
is on
good.
Netflix. This is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Well, I set up a baby shower for Sabrina, and I think it looks pretty good. I think she's gonna be tickled pink. Today, my focus is making Sabrina feel beautiful and feel like a princess, and I just want her to have fun. Hey!
Hey.
Come in.
Oh, it's so cute in here.
Got all those plants outside.
Where do you want all these gifts at? Yeah, just put them here on the table. Right here?
Hi. Hey. Oh, you look beautiful.
Thank you. You guys didn't have to bring gifts.
Oh, we had to.
Well, I have so much
Boy, she is dark as hell. It must be the sun or something.
baby stuff. I don't know what to do with it anymore.
This is the first time I've ever done baby showers, so I brought you some pickled stuff.
I already have a pickle. I don't need another one. Size extra large.
So you guys want to open the gifts?
Oh yeah, let's go.
You guys sit down right here.
All right.
All right.
The Amish, they don't really celebrate like that. We're not supposed to shed light on just one person. It's like vanity. But I just don't know what's wrong with having a party like that, because the baby shower was very fun.
I need to keep this away from Jethro.
Why?
Because this stuff will make you stink so bad.
Well, that's the whole point. That way, you guys don't have sex.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm really thankful that Jethro set this up and that he invited everybody. But I feel bad for Carmela. I feel guilty because I keep having babies. I've been pregnant now 3 years in a row, pretty much. And it's hard for Carmela to conceive.
I'm really happy for Sabrina, but at the same time, I'm a little sad just because I, want that to be me and Jeremiah sitting there, me pregnant and,
I wonder if she has a hard time conceiving or if he has like weak swimmers or something.
It's something we want. But I'm still getting all these negative pregnancy tests. It's really frustrating.
Well, these gifts are really nice. Thank you to everybody. Back home, in the Mennonites, everybody always takes care of everybody whenever they're pregnant. So it's really nice to have you all around. We have such a good life now. Like, we were homeless. We were like, I slept on park benches. Like, life was absolute. I had holes in my arms from needles. Like, just keep it, please, under, because I don't want to see you hurt the way I've hurt. I wouldn't have really picked my baby shower to
I didn't think it was going to be so heavy.
be
Dude,
the
that
place
shit's
to tell
rough.
them
But you
this,
know,
but
that gets into what we were talking about a little bit. And I like, people need options, man. Like, when you give them options and it's just to go sit on a park bench and do needles and nothing else, and there's no other way to deal with pain, like that's an
Mark
issue.
Barden.
Right. Sorry. Yeah, and that was something I was talking about. I think
From
in the
Sandy Hook
beginning
Farms.
about having too
The
much
shooter
spare
who murdered
time.
my
You get
sweet
into
little
trouble
Daniel.
and stuff.
To see dolphins.
Y'all excited?
Are they drinking now? It says they were drinking. Come on.
There they go, over there.
Home PA, there's no dolphins, but we also don't have an ocean.
You see the little baby one?
This was literally the first time I ever seen dolphins in real life, and it was awesome.
They didn't get out of control with drinking at all in this. What is up with these?
You gotta look for Amish kids listening to music, drinking beer in a barn or something like that. It's pretty funny. Where is it at? Dang, that one kid is taking up a lot of the Amish.
I know. He went on Theo Vaughn. I feel like I've seen one of those clips before. Yeah, I cannot find it.
Yeah, if I find it, I'll put it in the. I'll put it in the chat.
I'm probably going to head out for a little bit, but I'll probably be live again later today. You guys going to be around?
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be here, yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna stop for a little bit and go do some shit. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all in a little bit.
Later.
Peace.
All right, peace.